Good afternoon and welcome to Swanson Stadium on the campus of Florida Gulf Coast University, where this afternoon it has come down to this. The final game of the regular season. The winner is the A-Sun regular season champion, and will have the number one seed in next week's A-Sun tournament, as the Eagles of FGCU, a half a game ahead of the Flames from Liberty University. David Moulton, Greg Anderson, thrilled to be with you on this gorgeous, bright sunshine, no rain in the forecast, 88-degree early afternoon. Temperatures expected to reach the early 90s, or low 90s, I should say, Greg, about midway through this game. Thursday night, FGCU 7-4 winners. Friday night, Liberty 4-2 winners.
And, last night's game, Liberty jumped on Justin Gill, the FGCU starter, for 3 in the top of the first inning. Went on to a 4-2 win. But if you look at that, David, FGCU had great pitching out of the bullpen. They went to their bullpen in the second inning. You hate to say at this level they won the game 2-1 in the final 8 innings, but that was a game that could have gotten out of hand. It didn't, and now we're here, winner take all for the A-Sun regular season championship.
And both teams have most of their pitching fully intact heading into this regular season finale. We'll talk about that a little bit more the rest of the way. On the hill for FGCU, senior righty Evan Lumbert, 5-2 record, 3.64 earned run average. This is his 12th start of the season. We'll get to his defense in a moment, but stepping into the box, freshman left-hand hitting Gray Betts, who takes a fastball at the knees for strike one. Cole Gilmore at first, Eric Gonzalez at second, Christian Prophet at short, Richie Garcia at third behind Lumbert. Alex Brait, the catcher for every game this season, as he catches a fastball sinking low, 1-1. Keith Stevens around in left, Jalen Townsend in center, Jay Hayes in right field for the Eagles. The same starting lineup for all 3 games of this series. Fastball tails outside, 2-1 the count to Betts, who's a 301 hitter on the season with 16 RBIs. He's 2 for 8 in this series, Greg, with a walk and 2 RBIs.
And he kept Keith Stevens busy on Thursday night, this time up the middle.
Gonzalez fields in on 3 hops, sidearms it to Gilmore at first, 1 away.
So Thursday night's game, Friday night's game, yesterday's game, tale of 2 games, especially the Liberty pitching.
Well, Thursday night, and you commented, not the best played games for this Flames team, who comes in ranked in the top 50 in the country, 37 wins, 12-12 on the road. They're 7-3 against the ACC in first pitch swinging. A blooper out to second, and Gonzalez backpedaling makes the catch on Jonathan Embry's soft floater. And 5 pitches in, 2 away in the first for Lumbert and the Eagles. Up steps shortstop Cam Locklear. Locklear, 279 hitter, 4 homers, 37 RBI. Still looking for his first hit in this series, 0 for 6 with a walk and an RBI. Lumbert working quickly and gets the call on the outside corner, strike 1. And Greg, we've had scouts in attendance. Is this our 3rd or 4th Lumbert game this year? And there's been scouts in attendance for all of them.
And that's got to be a good psychological edge for Lumbert, knowing that people are here watching him.
Senior day at FGCU, Lumbert, one of the 6 that were honored beforehand, and going to the off-speed pitch for the first time and hitting the outside corner, so he's ahead of Locklear, 0-2. Fastball right on the outside corner, and an 8-pitch 1-2-3 first inning for Evan Lumbert and the Eagles. Winner take all. The number 1 seed in next week's A-Sun tournament on the line between the Flames and the Eagles, scoreless as we head to the bottom of the first. Bottom of the first, Swanson Stadium, scoreless between the Flames and the Eagles. Sophomore righty Noah Skiro on the hill for Liberty. This his 14th appearance. All of them starts. He comes in with a 4-5 record, but a solid 3.54 earned run average. And Greg, opponents hitting just .229 against Noah Skiro.
And that's the strength of this Liberty club. They have pitching both in the bullpen and in their starters that is one of the main reasons they are ranked in the top 50.
Nearly a 3-to-1 strikeout to walk ratio, 88 Ks in less than 70 innings. So more than a strikeout per inning for Noah Skiro. And the FGCU lineup that he will face, well, the exact same lineup, or at least the same 9 players that have been in the lineup for Dave Tillett on Thursday and Friday. Richie Garcia, Alex Brait, Jay Hayes, the top of the order for the Eagles. Behind Skiro, Logan Matthew at first, Will Wagner at second, Cam Locklear at short, Tyler Gallazin, the lone senior in the starting lineup for Liberty. Bodes well for the Flames, doesn't it, Greg?
Well, assuming they all come back, yeah, this is going to be a team that is going to be reckoned with down the road as well.
Gray Betts in left, Jalen Guy in center, Brandon Rohr in right, and Jonathan Embry behind the plate. And he takes first pitch of the game for Skiro, low, ball 1. Garcia, .288 hitter on the season, the third baseman with 5 homers and 27 RBIs. Fastball on the outside corner for a strike, and one of those 5 homers, Greg, we saw on Thursday.
Yeah, that was a ball that was skied in the air. Possibly a little bit wind-aided.
Not much wind here as Garcia goes swinging for the fences, and Skiro throws a fastball by him, 1-2. Garcia with a 2-run homer in the 5th inning on Thursday, which brought the Eagles even at 3. That's Richie's only hit in this series. Homer, 2 RBIs, and 1 walk. The 1-2 in the dirt, 2-2.
So Ray Parrish is the ump behind the plate. The last pitch by Lumbert, outside corner. The second pitch to Garcia, outside corner. I think this is going to be a wider zone than what we've seen.
So you're saying the black is in play on the plate today. The 2-2 slider off the plate. Count goes full at 3-2 to Richie Garcia. Final home game of the season with the ASUN tournament next week in DeLand at Stetson. The Hatters trying to play their way into the tournament. With a win today, they're in. Fastball, and Garcia hits it to fairly deep left field. Betts going back, looking up, and it's gone. The ball traveling well to left once again. That one not wind-aided. Another belt-high fastball that Garcia hits out of the park, his 6th homer of the year, and the Eagles take a 1-0 lead.
So that at-bat right there does a good job getting it to a full count, and that at-bat is just as good as Lumbert's top of the first, where he only took 8 pitches. Momentum easily on the favor of FGCU right now. What a great start.
Well, Garcia, Stevens, Kinker. I mean, the Eagles have some right-handed hitters who it's tough to get a fastball by them unless you get it up by the letters, and that one was at the belt. And Garcia hit it. It had topspin to it. The ball was coming down, and that's why I thought Betts really had a play on it. But it went over the wall as Betts looked up right by the light pole as Alex Brait, who's second batter of the game on Thursday, hit a home run to about the same spot in left field to give the Eagles a 1-0 lead. Brait took a fastball for a strike. Count now 1-1. Brait, 3 hits in this series, including a homer, 2 RBIs. And we've mentioned it many times, but tip of the hat to Alex Brait. Not only has he had a solid season, hitting .327, 4 homers, 30 RBIs, but he has caught every single game as that curveball is high, 2-1.
FGCU coming off their first home conference loss yesterday, and I wonder if that could be a big motivator for them today, besides everything else going on.
The 2-1, slow curveball. Brait slices it away foul. Long run for Betts, and it's out of play. 2-2 the count. And also day game after a night game, but you figure the adrenaline should be going for both teams, Greg. I mean, they're playing for everything. Final game of the year, winners the 1 seed. Although it could get you Stetson at home in the first round of the ASUN tournament, as Brait fouls a fastball off to stay alive.
And it's got to be a nice, relaxed atmosphere. Classes are done at FGCU. The baseball players are on campus. All they have to worry about is the games right now.
2-2, high curveball, ripped up the middle for a base hit. Brate's got good speed. He's going to take a big turn, but he'll stop there as Rohr gets it back in play. So Noah Skiro off to a rough start. Gives up a homer to Garcia on a 3-2 fastball, and then hangs a curveball to Brate, who singles up the middle, second batter of the game. And here's right fielder Jay Hayes. Hayes only one hit so far in this series and a walk. Jay scuffling a bit heading down the stretch. Hitting .315. He's been up in the 330s and 40s most of the year. Team leading 8 homers, team leading 44 RBIs. And from the stretch, and there's that pitch you talked about. First 2 games of this series, that would have been a ball that went outside. Not today, though. And if you're Skiro and Lumbert, if you know you can get it, throw it there. The 0-1. Brate not going, slow curve, right on the outside corner, or maybe a couple inches off the corner, but Ray Parrish giving that pitch to both pitchers so far here in the first inning. Hayes behind 0-2.
Yeah, and as long as it's consistent, I don't think either team is going to have an issue with it.
Brate's 10 for 10 stealing bases this year. The 0-2, he's not going, slow curve, and Hayes hits it deep to left field, way back, and it's gone. He tried to come back with that curveball on the outside corner, and Hayes reached out and hit it a mile. And 3 batters into the game, FGCU leads it 3-0.
To say that this is a pretty good start is an understatement, Dave. 0-2 pitch, though. We've talked about that. You and I have done a handful of games this year. Anytime you have somebody 0-2 and you're leaving the ball on the heart of the plate like that, that's a big mistake. And David, Liberty sprinting down to the bullpen.
Well, you can't go to the bullpen early enough in a game like this. You got nothing to lose burning through the bullpen because you don't play again until Wednesday. 3-0 FGCU, 3 batters into the game. And Skiro's first pitch to left fielder Keith Stevens is a fastball high, ball 1. Stevens, who hit a 2-run homer that was the game-winning shot on Thursday night. He's 4 for 6 in this series and takes another fastball out of the strike zone, 2-0. 4 for 6, a homer, 2 RBIs, 2 walks. And he leads the team in hitting, at least in terms of batting average, at .341. Cleanup hitting left fielder Keith Stevens. The 2-0, 3-0.
Stevens had just an unbelievable game Thursday night. Defensively, did we have him at 10 putouts?
In left field, including 8 through like 4 innings, as Liberty's left-handed hitters were clearly trying to hit the ball the other way. The 3-0, taken at the belt, 3-1.
David, if Skiro throws another one like that, we could have a 4-0 game here really quickly.
Well, a lot of times what you see on 3-0, you see on 3-1. Here it is. Nope, Skiro outthinking all of us, including Stevens. Sharp slider that Stevens missed badly, and now the count full at 3-2. That's what he wanted to do on that 0-2 pitch to Hayes.
Yes. And I'm sure we're going to see it again.
The 3-2, slider, and he gets Stevens. Big at-bat for Skiro. Coming back from 3-0 down to strike out Stevens. First out of the game for Liberty here in the bottom of the first. And here's second baseman Eric Gonzalez. What a senior year he's had. I don't even think he could have envisioned it would turn out this well. Lost his job last year to Christian Profit, the ASUN freshman of the year as it would turn out. First month of this season, he's on the bench as a utility infielder. He takes a fastball for a strike. Profit hitting about $160 a month into the season. Toad turns to Gonzalez and says, hey, why don't you give it a shot? And he's hitting .292 with 4 homers and 30 RBIs. Fastball outside, 1-1. 2 for 7 in this series with a walk is Eric Gonzalez, one of 5 seniors in the lineup for FGCU. Slider, 2-1.
So last night Liberty jumped on FGCU for 3 in their top of the first inning. A little bit different than what is happening here, though. FGCU 2 home runs so far.
Fastball, Gonzalez swinging, pops it up out of play, counts 2-2.
Liberty did it with a couple walks, some base hits. Gill threw over 40 pitches in that top of the first.
Skiro trying to settle down the 2-2, slider in the dirt, 3-2. Well, the hero for FGCU yesterday, despite a losing cause, was Gus Carter. Comes out of the bullpen, throws 6 innings of 1-run ball, 96 pitches, and saves the rest of the bullpen so that virtually everybody except Carter, as Gonzales works out a 1-out walk, everybody but Carter is available for the game today. If he doesn't do the job, Toe maybe has to blow through his whole bullpen, and there's only 1 or 2 relievers available for the game today. So if FGCU wins today and the back end of the bullpen has a big role, it'll be because of Gus Carter last night.
Yeah, a lot of unsung heroes. You know, I was going to talk about Gonzales. Team sports so hugely important to keep your positive attitude. I know it's really tough, but you're just one play away, and in his it's a little bit different. You know, we talked about with Coffers going down to injury how it had an effect on the entire defensive starting lineup. For Gonzales, it was a matter of Christian Prophet just not being able to hit the ball. It wasn't an injury. It wasn't something that happened quickly, hey, you're next guy up. So it was one of those things that he had just had to bide his time, and he's just been a solid senior player for FGCU, defensively as well.
Gonzalez, a senior out of Miami. And now Gonzalez, who played short most of the year, moves over to second. Prophet back in the lineup at short, the sophomore from Ida Baker High School, which for those of you watching in the Lynchburg, Virginia area is about 20 minutes from here, over in Cape Coral, which is a neighboring city to Fort Myers. 3-0 FGCU, 1 out, 1 on, bottom of the first inning. Skiro from the stretch facing DH Joe Kinker, who takes a fastball just outside ball 1. Kinker, second on the team in homers with 6, 36 RBIs. He's 2 for 5 in the series. He doubled yesterday. He's also got a couple of walks. So Joe Kinker feeling comfortable against Liberty pitching. The 1-0 slider just misses 2-0.
David, I'm going to answer before you ask. Yes.
Is the question, do you send the runner?
Right now.
I would wait one more pitch and do it on 2-1, but the 2-0 from Skiro, and Gonzalez fakes as if he's running and stays, and Kinker takes a slider on the corner, 2-1.
You know, you sort of talked about it the other night, sort of playing with house money. They're playing with house money. It's bottom of the first. They got 3 in already. Take some chances.
Well, and the reason also to run here is that I don't know if Skiro can get a fastball by Kinker. So there's a chance you're going to see an off-speed pitch, and that's a fastball high. Gonzalez doesn't run, and the count is 3-1.
Gonzalez on the year 5 for 7, stealing bases.
Well, Skiro better be careful here, because no one has more power than Joe Kinker for FGCU. The 3-1 slider, check swing on the corner, 3-2.
That's the second time he's come with the 3-1 slider. Really good spot, down and away.
Well, Skiro has not intentionally come inside with a pitch yet in this game. Does he stay away on the 3-2, and is Gonzalez running? Quick throw over by Skiro. You and I would both send the runner here, even though nobody strikes out more than Kinker.
Yeah, I'd send him. We thought Kinker had a really good at-bat Thursday night, coming back from an 0-2. He drew a walk, almost hit a home run.
Gonzalez not going, swing and a miss. Gonzalez faked as if he was going, stopped, and that's why the throw down to first from Embry. But Skiro with a second strikeout. He came from 3-0 down to strikeout Stevens, 3-1 down to strikeout Kinker, and here is left-hand hitting first baseman Cole Gilmore, who despite being athletically a junior, participated in senior day festivities today because he's graduated with academic honors. Gilmore had a rough Thursday, hitting to a couple double plays. He's 1 for 7 in the series with 2 RBIs and a walk. He is second on the team in RBIs with 40 on the season. He takes a fastball high, ball 1. 277, 4 homers, and as I mentioned, the 40 RBIs, which is second only to Hayes. 3-0 Eagles on a pair of homers. Garcia led off the game, and then Jay Hayes, a 2-run shot 2 batters later. The 1-0. Fastball inside, 2-0.
And I've got Skiro at 33 pitches. This is just a perfect start for FGCU.
Liberty used 3 pitchers in the game Thursday, 2 yesterday, so they've got plenty of arms available. The 2-0 is a curveball, high and outside, 3-0 the count. If you're Skiro, you need to be aware that the 2 batters after Gilmore combined have no home runs. And so a 4-pitch walk to Gilmore. And what an at-bat and what a spot this is, Greg, for Christian Prophet. Has struggled all season. And here he is with a chance where a hit could drive in at least 1 run. Hitting a .188 on a season with 8 RBIs, but has swung a decent bat, and that's going to be it. Noah Skiro is going to go 2/3 of an inning, and that is it. Head coach Scott Jackson not letting one of his 3 best pitchers face the 188 hitting Prophet. Too many out of the strike zone for Skiro, and he's got to take a seat on the bench. Jackson goes to the bullpen. It's a left-hander. We'll tell you who it is when we come back. 3-0 FGCU, and the Eagles still batting in the bottom of the first. We mentioned head coach Jackson going to his bullpen, and out comes lefty Mason Meyer. One of the 5 starters for the Flames. This is 19th appearance, 6th in relief. He's got a 5-4 record and a 4.55 earned run average. Gives up about a hit an inning. Teams are hitting .263 against lefty Mason Meyer. And if you're Christian Prophet, a right-hand hitter, you say, okay, I'll take the lefty.
Yeah, and if you watch a lot of Major League Baseball, if this happens and there's a right-hander on the hill to start, and then they bring in a lefty that could adjust the batting lineup that you normally planned on going against a right-hander, doesn't make a difference here. It's the same lineup for FGCU no matter what. FGCU doesn't have any switch hitters, so it's just a matter of seeing a different angle from the left-hander. And you talked about it before, big at-bat for Prophet, and this is baseball. All it takes is one at-bat to maybe have something click.
Well, and Prophet, who batted 9th the first 2 games, Dave Tollett obviously thinks Prophet swinging a little bit better. He moved them up from the 9-hole to the 8-hole, and we'll see if it pays dividends right here in the bottom of the first. Gonzales on second, Gilmore on first. 2 away, Christian Prophet sees a first pitch fastball and swings through it, strike 1. Meyer, in 63-plus innings, has 51 strikeouts. His strikeout-to-walk ratio about 2-1, which these days is average at best. The 0-1. Off-speed pitch low, 1-1. Well, Gonzalez with good speed on second. So if it's a base hit that leaves the infield, Gonzalez figures to score, although center fielder Jalen Guy is straight away and shallow. And so is right fielder Brandon Rohr. Betts is pretty deep in left. The 1-1. Fastball. Ooh, good-looking pitch, especially since what's been called so far today, but called low, 2-1.
Well, that could be because it's coming in from a lefty now. It's just a different angle coming in. That pitch had been called from both right-handed batters, right-handed pitchers, I should say.
The 2-1 from Meyer. Fastball high, 3-1. Left-hand hitting center fielder Jalen Townsend in the on-deck circle. Eagles with 3 lefty bats in the lineup, so they probably have no problem seeing a lefty come out of the pen. Bunch of right-handed sticks is where the Eagles get most of their power. The 3-1. Off-speed pitch called a strike just off the corner. That pitch has been called throughout this inning. Hayes adjusted down 0-2, reached out and got one maybe an inch or two off the plate and hit it out of the park. Profit's going to have to protect that outside corner. Runners will be going here. 2 outs, first and second, 3-2 count to Christian Profit. Fouled off at the plate. We'll do it again. Meyer went to something other than the fastball. But from a confidence standpoint, Greg, what this at-bat could do for Profit, because obviously there's an A-Sun tournament, not only the rest of this game, but there's an A-Sun tournament next week, and he's going to be playing every inning at short. And if he can get his bat going like it was last year, that really deepens this lineup. The 3-2 fastball ruled high and outside, ball 4. Well, if one stat shows you the difference that a day makes, Thursday night, Liberty pitchers walked 8 Eagles.
8, yes.
Yesterday, Liberty pitchers walked 1.
1.
First inning here today, they've walked 3. Back-to-back walks to Gilmore and Profit, loads the bases, and Townsend rips one up the middle, past the diving Wagner at second. 1 run has scored, and the runners will be held up there. Guy got to it quickly and threw it in. Gonzalez scores, and it's 4-0 FGCU. And they've batted around here in the first. All those walks have come back to haunt the Flames. Gonzalez, Gilmore, and Profit all walked. Townsend comes up, first pitch swinging, makes it 4-0.
Will Wagner made an outstanding effort at second base. Even if he stops the ball, nothing changes. It's going to be a base hit for Townsend. The run scores. What a unbelievable start for FGCU.
And here's Richie Garcia for the second time this inning, and he takes an off-speed pitch outside, ball 1. Garcia led the game off by hitting a 3-2 fastball over the left field wall. His second homer of the series. Eagles have hit 5 home runs in this series. The 1-0, slow curve. Bends around the plate, 2-0. Those pitches are close, but they are outside. And now Meyer likely has to come in to Garcia, who's already shown he can hit a good fastball out of the park. The 2-0. Low, 3-0. Nowhere for Garcia to go. Gilmore on third, Profit on second, Townsend on first. The 3-0. Fastball at the belt, 3-1. Garcia.
I think he had the green light there.
Yeah, I think he started to swing at that. Well, we talked about playing with house money, and 4-0 in the first feels like house money. Off-speed pitch misses, and it's a bases-loaded walk, and the Eagles lead it 5-0. A nightmare of a start for Liberty. 5-0 FGCU. And Alex Brait will bat for the second time in the inning. He had to take his catcher's gear off.
Yeah, and David, I mentioned this, how yesterday Liberty got off to a 3-0 lead, top of the first, and FGCU loses 4-2. They just sort of hung in there, had a chance, even though it was a pretty bad start. It just seems like the momentum has continued.
Well, they say momentum in baseball is next day's starting pitcher. Evan Lumbert retired the side on 8 pitches, and obviously that has not been the case for Noah Skiro and now Mason Meyer for the Flames, both struggling. Brait swings and misses at a curveball and is behind in the count 0-2. Brait singled in the first and then scored when Jay Hayes, who's in the on-deck circle, hit a bomb of a 2-run homer to left. 5-0 Eagles. The 0-2. Curveball. Brait just got a piece of it.
Again, an 0-2 curveball, had plenty of the plate. Brait's timing, I don't think he was expecting an off-speed pitch.
Brait, who's 4 for 9 in the series with a homer and 2 RBIs. The 0-2, change up, swing and a miss. Foul tip caught by Embry, and the side is retired. Liberty struck out the side, but in and around that, the Eagles scored 5 runs on 4 hits, and they leave the bases loaded. We've played 1 at Swanson. FGCU 5 and Liberty nothing. Top of the second inning, 5-0 FGCU. 5 runs on 4 hits for the Eagles as they batted around and then some in the bottom of the first, and because of it, Evan Lumbert, who retired the side on 8 pitches in what seems like an hour ago. And it's literally been over 25 minutes.
Yeah, the good news is if you're Lumbert, that was just the first inning. I think a lot of times when you're a pitcher, or say it's a third, fourth inning, and you've got to sit for 20 minutes, that disrupts your rhythm a little bit more. But he's only thrown 8 pitches, so it's almost like a reset here. Treat it like the top of the first again and see if he could continue that success he had.
4, 5, 6 for the Flames here in the second inning. Logan Matthew, Will Wagner, and Ben Highfill. Matthew 1 for 8 in this series. The 1 was a solo homer on Thursday night, which at the time gave the Flames a 4-3 lead. Lumbert misses badly with a fastball, ball 1. Matthew, second on the team in homers with 7. Leads the team with 46 RBIs. The 1-0. Swings at a fastball, tomahawks it to second. Gonzalez fields it, throws over to Gilmore, 1 away. Up comes the second baseman, Will Wagner. Good player, 317 hitter, 5 homers, 37 RBIs. Hasn't gotten going in this series, though, 1 for 9 with a run scored. Fastball over the heart of the plate, strike 1. Lumbert's got number 1 stuff, Greg. Consistency is the key with him. Fastball outside corner, and Wagner in an 0-2 hole. The 0-2, sinking fastball, and Wagner stays alive.
Now that's an 0-2 pitch I could live with, David. Off the plate, close enough where you got to protect if you're the hitter. And Wagner protected, fouled it off, but nothing else he could do with that pitch.
Plus it was tailing away. It started in the strike zone and tailed outside of it. Try again, 0-2. Stays away with the fastball, and Wagner stays alive. Will, I have to admit, that's a little too close to my car. If we could straighten that out just a little bit, I'd appreciate it. That's the danger, Greg, of finding a shade tree. The trees are closer to the field. You put your car at risk when you don't want to come on out 3 hours from now and have the inside temperature be about $108. Temperature right around 90 right now, expected to get to about 92 by the late innings. The 1-2, fastball, Wagner skies it to shallow left center field. Garcia going back at third, in foul ground, he makes the catch. If Garcia didn't make that play, nobody was going to. It was too long of a run for Profit, and Stevens, who had to come all the way from left center field, couldn't get there in time. That ball was foul, but Garcia, reaching back over his shoulder, makes the catch.
I was watching Stevens the entire time, and then Profit, who is really fast, he sort of came into play, and you're right. If it wasn't Garcia, it wasn't going to be either of those two.
So 5 up, 5 down for Lombard. Here's Ben Highfill, the DH. Fastball, high ball 1. Highfill's had a good series, 3 for 9 with an RBI and 2 runs scored. Highfill hitting .229 on the season, a homer, and 23 RBIs. And Lombard falls behind 2-0. First hitter has really fallen behind so far today. Well, the ball game is very much in Evan Lombard's hands now, with a 5-run lead. 2-0 fastball in the corner, 2-1. I mean, if he pounds the strike zone, Greg, and pitches the way he's capable of, the Eagles are going to be the top seed in the A-Sun tournament. But it only takes 1 inning to turn everything around. The 2-1. Swing and a miss at a high fastball, 2-2.
Yeah, and the key at what you had said there, I know it sounds strange and it sounds obvious, but keep the ball over the plate. You don't want to start walking batters. You don't have to play around. You've got the best defensive infield you've got all year with Profit in there. Talked about that with the Coffers injury.
The 2-2, sliced foul. Yeah, with Gonzales, who's been playing shortstop and playing it well, now at second. And the guy who's been the second baseman most of the year, Richie Garcia, playing third. You really do have your best infielders at second, short, and third. So this is as good as the Eagles' infield defense can get. Missing Coffers in center, though. If they gave out gold gloves, he'd win one. Fastball, fisted out of play. It remains 2-2. Well, and what you talked about, Greg, I mean, teams are hitting .236 against Lombard. I mean, it's simple math. If you go to them and go, hey, hitting you's not easy. If you throw strikes, we're going to get enough outs and we're going to be fine. The 2-2. Slow curve on the outside corner, and the second strikeout of the game for Lombard. 3 up, 3 down again for Lombard and the Eagles. To the bottom of the second we go, 5-0 FGCU. Bottom of the second at Swanson Stadium. 5-0 FGCU as 11 Eagles came to the plate in the first inning. Liberty already on their second pitcher. Mason Meyer came in relief, proceeded to walk Profit, give up an RBI single to Townsend, walk Garcia.
And what's funny about baseball, David, Jay Hayes, you had said during his first at-bat, his average has dropped about 20 points, that he's been scuffling a little bit. And I was just about to say that the last thing you want to do when you're scuffling is face an 0-2 count. And what did he do with that 0-2 count?
He hit a hanging curveball about 40 feet over the left field wall for a 2-run homer and a 3-0 lead. And he hits one fair down the third base line. Gallison fields it. High throw, but first baseman Matthew stays on the bag.
He needed all of those 6'3"
Listed at 6'3", and he is every bit of it. And he kept his toe on the bag, and Hayes grounds out to third. 1 away.
You know, as a former basketball coach, we used to add a couple inches to most of our guys. He looks like he should be probably listed at 6'4", 6'5".
Right. Meyer high with a first pitch fastball to Keith Stevens, ball one. Stevens struck out against Noah Skiro in the first inning as Skiro fell behind Stevens 3-0 but came back to get him. Off-speed pitch and a good one, 1-1. So Meyer maybe not quite ready when he came into the game, giving up a walk and a single and a walk, but now is settled down and is ahead of Stevens 1-2.
Well, Meyer had started 13 games. This is his 19th appearance, so only 6 out of the bullpen.
The 1-2. Stevens stays alive. Stevens 4 for 7 in the series with a homer, 2 RBIs, and he's also been on base with 2 walks. So a good series so far for left fielder Keith Stevens. One of 5 seniors in the lineup for FGCU. Hayes, Stevens, Gonzales, and the pitcher Lombard are seniors. Cole Gilmore, the first baseman, participated in senior day, graduating a year early and on many an all-academic team at that. Stevens rips one up the middle for a base hit. Guy hustles over in left center. Big turn from Stevens, and he is a one-out base runner. Stevens leading the team in hitting at .341 and showing why right there. Meyer came inside with a fastball, and Stevens was ready for it.
I think Stevens is ready for the ASUN tourney. ASUN Player of the Week last week. He's had a great series. Base hit here. Getting hot at the right time.
Think about that. 5 for 8 and 2 walks, so he's been on base a lot. Swinging and missing is Eric Gonzalez. Gonzalez walked and eventually scored on a Jalen Townsend RBI single, the 4th run of the game for the Eagles. A 5-run first for FGCU. Grounded foul, third base side, and Gonzalez in an 0-2 hole. The Eagles have more runs than outs so far in this game. Remarkable. That's why you never know what you're going to see when you come to the ballpark. The 0-2. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch and a good one. 2 away here in the second. Second strikeout for Meyer as he struck out Brait in the first inning. And here's the DH Joe Kinker, who struck out in the first inning, the last out that Noah Skiro was able to get. Kinker's 2 for 6 in the series. Second on the team with 6 homers. Slow curve is high, ball 1.
Liberty pitchers do not like wasting pitches. Ahead of the batters, 0-2, 1-2, they're going to come in there with strikes.
And go after them, which I actually like. The 1-0. Slow curve. Finds the strike zone with that one, 1-1. Well, that's a tough pitch for Kinker because that one's out of the strike zone the whole way until it crosses the plate. It's easy to give up on that pitch. Will he show Kinker a fastball? The 1-1. Slow curve, grounded to short, fielded by Locklear. He's got plenty of time. A wild throw at first, but they say Matthew stayed on the bag, and the side is retired. No runs, a hit. One left. We've played 2. 5-0 FGCU. Top of the third inning here at Swanson Stadium. FGCU with a 5-run first. They lead Liberty 5-0. Bottom of the order for the Flames, 7, 8, 9. Tyler Gallison, Brandon Rohr, Jalen Guy to try to get things going against Evan Lumbert. 6 up, 6 down for the Eagles pitcher so far.
Only 23 pitches thrown, just a great ratio to start the game.
Swing and a miss by Gallison, 0-1. Tyler's had a terrific series, 5 for 8 with 2 RBIs. Third baseman hitting .277 on the season, 2 homers and 38 ribbies. 38 RBIs has him second on the team. Slider popped up, first base side. Gilmore gives way to the second baseman Gonzalez in fair territory, who makes the catch. Has not been a hard hit ball yet against Lumbert. 3 pop-ups to infielders so far in the game and a couple strikeouts amongst the 7 outs. Here's right fielder Brandon Rohr. 1 for 6 in the series, 291 hitter on the season. Still looking for his first homer, has 27 RBIs. That fastball misses 1-0. Fastball misses 2-0. Only the second time so far that Lumbert's fallen behind 2-0 on a Flames batter. I got to take a couple here if I'm Liberty. Need base runners. 3-0. I'd take 2.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out that second pitch must have been a little bit low. That looked pretty good. But, yeah, you're right. You need base runners. Take a couple pitches.
And it's a 4-pitch walk to Rohr in the first base runner of the game for Liberty. If for nothing else, you're like, okay, make him pitch from the stretch. Let's see whether or not you get him out of his rhythm. Jalen Guy, the freshman center fielder, who's 1 for 4 in the series with an RBI.
Well, Jalen Guy looking down for signs. There's not a whole lot you're going to give him down 5-0. Whatever the sign is for need base runners.
Right. Guy with a hit on Thursday night, an RBI single to left. Did not play, at least did not bat in yesterday's game. Was a defensive replacement late. Rohr with a modest lead off first. The 0-1. Fastball fouled away 0-2.
Well, those are two really good signs right there, those two pitches to come back with strikes after 4 straight balls to walk Rohr.
Guy had a good at-bat in the 4th inning on Thursday night, and his RBI single increased Liberty's lead, and he has a good at-bat there as he slices one into right field for a base hit. Hayes gets to it quickly, however, but the bottom of the order for the Flames getting a little something going here in the 3rd inning.
0-2 base hit, took that ball the other way. High and away was the pitch. Good at bat for Guy. That's all you could do with that pitch.
Gray Betts, a 300 hitter, who grounded out the second to start this game. He had a 2 RBI hit in yesterday's 4-2 win. Runners on first and second, 1 out, top of the 3rd. Fastball misses 1-0.
Betts hit into a big double play Thursday night.
Huge. In fact, we thought with his speed that the double play was not in play. Liberty was down 6-4 in the 8th, had runners on the corners with nobody out. Hunter McGarry got a pop out and then got Betts to hit into a 6-4-3 double play to end the inning. Eagles tack on a run in the bottom of the 8th, and McGarry pitches out of trouble in the 9th to win it, or save it anyway, 7-4. Count 1-1 on Gray Betts, who's a contact hitter, having struck out just 14 times all year in over 160 plate appearances. The 1-1. Fastball misses, 2-1. And Betts will go the other way. In fact, so far, Greg, we've seen Betts go much more to left field on the left side of the diamond than we have pull it to the right side, despite his ground out to second to start the game.
Yeah, and Profit is keeping Rohr close at second base, opening up a huge hole on the left side.
The 2-1. Fastball misses, 3-1. Lumbert retired the first 7 batters of the game, and then a 4-pitch walk. Guy with an 0-2 single. And here's Betts ahead of the count, 3-1. Would not surprise me if Lumbert loses Betts if we see a visit from Dave Tillett. The 3-1. Fastball's high, and the Flames have loaded the bases. And Lumbert doing the one thing that we mentioned last inning you cannot do with a 5-run lead. Start walking, guys. 2 of the 3 base runners have gotten on via walk. And Dave Tillett, I think, is going to send somebody to the bullpen to start warming up, because he turned around and talked to a couple members of the coaching staff, and now he'll take the slow walk out to the mound, because this is the guy that Liberty wants at the plate. Jonathan Embry, who leads the team in homers with 9, hitting just under 300, and he's got 3 hits and 2 walks in this series, so he feels very comfortable at the plate here at Swanson.
Lumbert doesn't seem to have command against left-handed hitters. Seems more comfortable against righties, hitting that outside corner. But against the lefties, he's been out and away most of the pitches.
Bases loaded, 1 out. First base runners of the game for Liberty. Top of the 3rd inning. Jonathan Embry at the plate. He popped out to Gonzales at second, his first time up. Lumbert, with the bases loaded, will pitch from the stretch, and he throws a breaking pitch for a strike. It was a hard breaking pitch, but it was not a fastball. 2 walks and a single. Loads the bases. Lumbert against Embry. First tight spot for the Eagles in the game thus far. 0-1, right on the outside corner. Embry not happy about it, 0-2. Oh, you mentioned it, Greg. Lumbert was struggling against left-handed hitters to find that outside corner for a strike. He found it on that pitch. What does he do here at 0-2? He throws a fastball in the dirt, and Brate blocks just enough of it to keep it at the plate. Rohr on third, Guy at second, Betts on first. Cam Locklear, the shortstop, waits in the on-deck circle. Here's the 1-2. Off-speed pitch, popped up. Infield fly rule in effect. Profit makes the catch. And now 2 away. So Embry has popped out twice, once to second, once to short, and here's Locklear.
That's the second best thing you could do in that situation as a pitcher or defense. Besides striking the batter out, get him on a lazy pop-up infield fly. That's big.
Locklear looking for his first hit in the series, and this would be a perfect time for him to get it. Curveball misses, 1-0. Cam 0 for 7 in the series with an RBI and a walk. Hitting just under 280 on the season. 4 homers, 37 RBIs. Single would go a long way here for the Flames. Outfield to straightaway and fairly deep. Fastball hit the Profit at short. He fields it, goes to Gonzales at second for the force, and Lumbert pitches out of it. Base is loaded with 1 out, and the ball doesn't leave the infield. No runs, 1 hit, 3 men left. To the bottom of the third we go, 5-0 Eagles. Bottom of the third inning, FGCU 5, Liberty 0. What's at stake? Well, as much as you can have in a regular season. The regular season championship, it would be the 6th for FGCU in their 12 years in the A-Sun. And the regular season title gets you the number 1 seed in next week's A-Sun tournament, which usually is an advantage. May not be as big of one this year because Stetson right now is in line to be the 6th seed. So you'd have to face the home school with their best pitcher. And first pitch swinging is Cole Gilmore, and he hits it deep to right field, right in front of the wall. Rohr makes the catch. 1 away. Gilmore gave it a ride. Looking for his 5th homer of the season, but it's a long out.
That ball looked as good as any ball we've seen hit today. Possibly into the wind a little bit. The wind is blowing from right to left, and that could have knocked it down just enough.
1 away here in the third against Mason Meyer, who came in relief with 2 outs in the first inning. And he's facing Christian Profit for the second time. Profit walked his first time up. First pitch swinging, fouled it off. Meyer came in to face Profit with 2 on, 2 out in the first. Walked Profit, then gave up an RBI single to Townsend to make it 4-0. Then walked Garcia to make it 5-0. Since then, Mason Meyer has settled in. Profit shows bunt and takes a strike, 0-2.
That's the first pitch we've seen that Meyer has gotten on the outer half.
The 0-2. Profit pops it up out of play.
Again, 0-2. Tons of plate there.
Yeah, so much so that Profit threw a little uppercut at it. Thought that there was enough of the plate there to do some real damage to it. 0-2. Profit hits it hard to short. Locklear fields it on 2 hops. Throws over to Matthew, 2 away. So Meyer settling down. After a single and a couple walks coming into the game, he's retired 6 of the last 7 he's faced. And here's Jalen Townsend.
Townsend saw one pitch in his first at-bat, hit a soft little liner that got through for an RBI single.
Tomahawked it in the right spot, right up the middle. Pass to diving Will Wagner at second. 2 outs, nobody on. Townsend a threat to bunt, takes a fastball for a strike. Townsend 2 for 6 in the series, including that RBI back in the first inning. 5-0 Eagles. Swing and a miss. The 0-2, fouled off at the plate. Got a piece of Embry. Home plate umpire asks him if he's okay, and Embry says to Ray Parrish, yeah, I'm good. FGCU 10-1 at home in conference play this year. They have not lost a series against anyone at Swanson Stadium this year. Trying to keep those gaudy records intact as Meyer bounces one 1-2. It does make you wonder, will the Eagles be able to take, I mean, they're a completely different team at home versus not at Swanson Stadium this year, as Townsend swings and misses, and Meyer with his 3rd strikeout in 2 1/3 innings of relief. 3 up, 3 down for the Eagles. We'll go to the 4th, 5-0 FGCU.
Well, David, we know what's undefeated this year at Swanson Stadium.
Well, it's the 2 of us broadcasting FGCU games.
And also the beef jerky from Ruthven, Minnesota.
Here we go, breaking it out a little late. Usually we're a bottom of the 2nd, top of the 3rd.
We are.
Jerky half inning.
We are.
Look at this. And the folks listening who are fans of the Liberty Flames, you should consider it an honor. We're breaking it out for you, for your half inning.
No, we're breaking it out for the FGCU defense this time.
Really?
Yeah, we're up 5.
Well, tell you what, I've got a piece then.
All right.
All right. Yours is for the Eagles, mine's for the Flames.
And unless you have a relative that lives in Ruthven, Minnesota area, you're going to have to drive up there yourself, stop in at a local gas station, look in the freezer, because that's the only place you'll find it.
How many gas stations are there in Ruthven, Minnesota?
1.
Heart of the order for the Flames here in the 4th. Logan Matthew, the cleanup hitter, and he finds a hole on the right side. First pitch swinging, and that's the 2nd hit for Liberty in this game. So Liberty Evan Lumbert retired the first 7 batters of the game, then a couple of walks and a single. Loaded the bases with 1 out in the third. Lumbert pitched out of it. Liberty putting the pressure on the right-hander once again. Matthew with a leadoff single. Here's Will Wagner. Wagner first pitch swinging, and that is by Garcia at third off his glove. So a hard hit single for Wagner, his second of the series. And the Flames are not wasting any time. They are first pitch swinging and a couple of base hits. First and second, nobody out. And that one was smoked.
Just an inch the other way towards Garcia, and that's in his glove.
I got to credit Wagner hit it so hard that Garcia couldn't get his glove up in time.
Yeah.
I mean, he hit it right at him. They call it the hot corner for a reason. And here's the DH, Ben Highfill, who struck out his first time up. In the dirt, 1-0. So after retiring the first 7 batters of the game, the Flames have gotten 3 singles, 2 walks. They seem to be settling in against Lumbert. The 1-0. Fastball grounded. This could be 2. Profit to Gonzalez to Gilmore. 6-4-3 double play, and just like that, 2 away.
You know, last inning with the bases loaded, Locklear grounded out to short for a fielder's choice, and you had said that a base hit would go a long way for the Liberty Flame.
Yep.
The opposite of that, an out, I think, went a little bit longer for FGCU to get out of that inning, and that's another one right there. We just saw a double play.
Well,
another big break for FGCU.
Well, you never know what would have happened, obviously, but if Locklear gets a single there with the bases loaded, even if only 1 run scores, the next 2 guys up get hits. Now, you never know how it's going to play out and all that, but I mean, all 27 outs are not the same. And some outs are just flat out bigger than others. Lumbert misses with a first pitch to the third baseman, Tyler Gallison, who's 5 for 9 in the series. Matthew off third. Fastball low, 2-0. Lumbert wanted that one. Brait unable to frame it and keep his glove at the knees. Gallison popped out to Gonzalez at second, his first time up. Gallison second on the team in RBIs. And the 2-0, fisted out of play, 2-1. Tyler came into this game hot. He now has an 8-game hitting streak. He's 5 for 9 in this series with a couple RBIs, with a 3-hit game and a 2-hit game. And if you're Liberty, you want to just put a crooked number on the board. Just get something up there that's not a 0. I think you feel better about yourself. The 2-1's off the plate, 3-1. You don't want to be pitching around too many guys in the middle innings, but Lumbert and the catcher Brait have to know that Rohr and Guy, the next 2 batters combined, have just 1 home run. They're not big sticks. The 3-1, Gallison grounds it foul. So Logan Matthew on third with 2 outs. Lumbert, who got out of bases loaded, 1 out in the third inning, trying to get out of first and second with nobody out here in the fourth. The 3-2 to Gallison. Fastball out of play. Greg, you know I'm a fan of that. Got a 5-run lead. Started walking guys. Sometimes you just got to play country hardball, and if he beats you, you tip your hat and say, well, that's why they give you a bat.
And that's what it was, just a fastball right down the middle.
Hit it. We'll see what Lumbert does on another 3-2. Fastball, check swing. Did he go? No. Michael Rash, the first base umpire, said no. So 2 on, 2 out for the right fielder, Brandon Rohr, who walked against Lumbert last inning.
So Brandon Rohr walked, like you said, on 4 pitches. He's the 8 hitter here. Had a base open. Not that played into that walk, but not the worst thing. Walking Galazon there.
Off-speed pitch on the inner part of the plate, strike one. Rohr walked and was stranded last inning. 1 for 6 in the series. 291 hitter with 27 RBIs. I'll say it again, a single go a long way. Got to get that first run on the board. The 0-1, fastball misses low and away, 1-1. Gallows in with good speed, second on the team in stolen bases. You can put some pressure on the Eagles here. A lot of teams don't even like to throw all the way down, Greg. They'll almost give the runner on first here the stolen base. Afraid of the double steal on the back end, and the 1-1. Challenged him with a fastball, and Rohr was late, 1-2. I think I'd throw that again. I might elevate it, but Lumbert's fastball got the better of Rohr there. I might challenge him again.
Yeah, Galazon at first base. He's stolen 8 of 9. I'm a little surprised he isn't in motion.
The 1-2, all-speed pitch, grounded. Misplayed by Gilmore at first, and that allows Liberty to score their first run of the game. We'll see how it's scored. Gilmore should have had that one, in my opinion.
That's an E3.
And it's ruled E3, and Liberty will take it. And Matthew scores to make it 5-1. And Jalen Guy comes up with 2 on and 2 out in the 4th. So Liberty catches their first break of the game. Guy, who singled off Lumbert last inning, his second hit of the series. Fastball, inner part of the plate, deemed high, ball 1.
Surprising that got past Gilmore, considering he went down on his knees, did everything defensively to make sure he stayed in front of that ball, and just snuck right through the 5-hole.
First and second, 2 outs in the 4th, 5-1 FGCU. The 1-0. And it hits Guy in the left shoulder. Bases are loaded for the second inning in a row. And now it's Gray Betts with a chance to come up with the big hit for Liberty.
So 8-9 reach on an E3 and a hit by batter, the top of the order. Third time around now for Betts.
Well, and if you think about it, 8-9 reached last inning. Rohr with a walk, Guy with a single. So the bottom part, 7, 8, 9 in the Liberty lineup has reached base 5 of their 6 plate appearances. Bases loaded for Gray Betts. Off-speed pitch at the knees, 0-1.
And this is the second straight inning that Lumbert has thrown 20-plus pitches in both of these innings.
Big spot in this game. Single could make it 5-3. Betts grounded out the second and walked so far in this one. He's 3 for 9 in the series. Had 2 RBIs yesterday. The 0-1, curveball on the outside corner. Lumbert ahead of Betts, 0-2. Betts very difficult to strike out. He has struck out just 14 times on the season. And this is 165th plate appearance. The 0-2, fastball misses 1-2. And actually, it's been hit by 7 pitches, so this his 172nd plate appearance, just 14 strikeouts. He basically strikes out once a series. So you likely are going to see Betts put the ball in play here. Bases loaded, 2 outs. The 1-2. Fastball hit to center field. Townsend has got a beat on it. Makes the catch. So an unearned run Second inning in a row, the Flames load the bases, but this time they break through. 1 run, 2 hits, a key error, and they leave 3. Bottom of the 4th we go. FGCU leads it 5-1. Bottom of the 4th at Swanson, 5-1 FGCU. 5 in the first for the Eagles, including a couple of home runs. Liberty loaded the bases in the 3rd and 4th inning, unable to scratch through an unearned run in the top of the 4th. Top of the order for the Eagles, Garcia, Brait, and Hayes. Richie Garcia led off the game, hitting a 3-2 fastball over the left field wall to give the Eagles a 1-0 lead. And then he drew a bases-loaded walk also in the first inning as the Eagles batted around. Garcia takes a fastball low from Mason Meyer, who has really settled in here.
Yeah, he's retired 6 of the last 7. And, you know, David, a lot of guys, if you watch and listen to enough baseball,
swing and a miss, 1-1.
A lot of guys don't like to come in from the bullpen during an inning, and managers will do their best to try to get these guys to start fresh. And maybe this is the case with Meyer as well.
But it was clear that Noah Skiro was struggling. And head coach Scott Jackson, 2 on, 2 out, 3 runs already in the bottom of the first. He had decided he had had enough of Skiro, who even when he got the 2 outs was behind both hitters. And speaking of behind, Meyer falls behind Garcia 3-1. And so Jackson just felt, hey, this is not Skiro's day. I'm bringing in Meyer. The 3-1, just off the corner, and a leadoff walk for Garcia, who has a homer and 2 walks now in this game.
Garcia's got a pretty good eye. That was a good pitch, and he was taking his gear off early.
Yeah, I actually thought it was going to be called a strike.
Yeah.
But here's the catcher, Alex Brait, who singled in the first and then scored when Jay Hayes hit a 2-run homer, and then struck out to end the first inning as the Eagles sent 11 men to the plate in the first. Brait shows bunt, but bunts it foul.
Straight sacrifice there?
Yes. Looked like it to me.
Yeah.
Trying to get that run back, that earned run that the Eagles gave up in the top of this inning. 5-1 FGCU, bottom of the 4th. Winner is the A-Sun regular season champion. And Brait hits a line drive in a right center field. Rohr comes over, dives for it, and can't get it. Garcia headed for third. He's going to be sent home. Here's the relay, the throw, and he's out. Oh, a big out by Liberty. Don't know if Garcia ran through a stop sign or not. Heck of a relay by the Flames. And instead of second and third and nobody out, it's a runner on second and 1 out.
That was a great relay.
Was it Locklear or Wagner? I thought it was the second baseman, Wagner.
I thought it was Wagner.
It's a double for Brait. Garcia thrown out 8-4-2 because Rohr, the right fielder, dove for it. Guy had to track it down. Heck of a defensive play. Eagles put the pressure on the Liberty defense, but Guy, the center fielder, to Wagner, the second baseman, and a line shot fair down the left field line by Jay Hayes. That'll score Brait. Hayes headed for second. He'll make it sliding safely. And it's 6-1 FGCU.
Well, there's the run back, David.
And right when we thought Meyer had settled in, having retired 7 of 8, the Eagles are jumping all over him here in the fourth. A walk, a single, and a walk and 2 doubles, 6-1 Eagles. Hayes on second, and here's the cleanup hitter, Keith Stevens, who struck out in the first and singled in the second. And a fastball away, ball 1.
The hottest hitter for FGCU right now is Stevens. Gets ahead of the count.
Stevens is 5 for 8 in this series with a homer, 2 RBIs. He's also reached base with a couple of walks. So you are right, Greg. This is who FGCU wants at the plate. Check swing. And the high breaking ball finds the zone, 1-1. Runner on second, 1 out. Bottom of the fourth, 6-1 Eagles. Stevens fouls it off, 1-2. So obviously that great defensive play saved a run. And who knows how many more it may save, because that's a key out right now. It'd be 7-1 with nobody out, if not for that great relay throw. And this one grounded, just foul down the third base line. Christopher Tipton, the umpire, had a good read on it. He also had a good read on that Hayes double, because that wasn't fair by much.
No. You know, if you're Brandon Roman's the third base coach for FGCU, it's if he did wave Garcia around, you have to have it in the back of your mind that the heart of your order is coming up.
And that one ripped to left field for a base hit by Stevens. Hayes had to wait to make sure that it got through, so he'll hold it third. Runners on the corners with 1 out, and here comes Eric Gonzalez. And you wonder how much longer Scott Jackson will stay with Mason Meyer, who is getting hit around pretty good here in the fourth.
But at the same time, if you're trying to score, you got to take a risk once in a while.
Walk, double, double, single to the first 4 hitters here in the fourth. And Scott Jackson making the long, slow walk from the dugout to the mound. This looks like one of those, I'm going to waste as much time as I can before I call the pen.
Yeah, right-hander is up in the pen. So, David, it's a beautiful day for a ball game. Not expecting anything bad to happen. You're not expecting any kind of melee, little Donnybrook,
right?
Little brawl.
What are you getting at?
David, if I'm on the field and something breaks out, I'm running behind Brandon Romans.
Third base coach?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I'm not a fighter, David.
I never thought you were, Greg.
And I might, do a little talking once I got behind him as well.
Oh, really? Oh, you're one of those, are you?
Oh, yeah.
You go behind.
I'm going to chirp behind the biggest guy on the field.
So you go behind the human eclipse, and then you start running your mouth.
Totally.
Okay. It's good to know.
Got to play a part somehow.
Good to know. Pitching change is made. We'll tell you who it is, as the Eagles have scored 1 and are threatening for more here in the bottom of the fourth. 6-1 FGCU at Swanson. 6-1 FGCU, bottom of the fourth inning, 2 on, 1 out, and in comes right-hander Logan Barker, 6-foot sophomore out of Stafford, Virginia. This is Logan's 15th appearance on the season. He's got a clean 1-0 record and a nice smooth 3.00 earned run average. Guys are hitting just 200 against him, Greg, and he averages a little over a strikeout an inning, 28 Ks in 27 innings. Logan Barker to try to keep Liberty as close as possible, trailing 6-1, runners on the corners, 1 away.
In only 8 walks, 28 strikeouts, 8 walks. There isn't a Liberty pitcher that doesn't have good numbers that we've seen so far this weekend.
Well, they're the best pitching staff in the A-Sun. Earned run average, nearly a full run better than FGCU. And on paper, fielding percentages, batting average, runs scored, all that were nearly identical. The difference was in the pitching. Liberty's pitching has been better throughout the season. You don't go 7-3 against ACC competition without having good pitching. But it's getting roughed up today thus far. And here comes the second baseman, Eric Gonzalez, who walked and scored in the first and struck out in the second. He's 2 for 8 with 2 walks in this series. The senior on senior day with runners on the corners and 1 out. Is the squeeze in play here? First pitch fastball in the outside corner, 0-1.
Gonzalez didn't like that pitch, didn't like the call. But yes, David, I would think anything to get these runs in on a day like this.
Gonzalez doesn't strike out very much, although he did strike out his last time up. Just 24 Ks on the season, so he's pretty good with the bat. The 0-1 fouls it out of play, and you would think that the squeeze is no longer in play as Gonzalez is down 0-2. Barker obviously looking for a strikeout here. Only out of the inning, a tremendous relay from Will Wagner to the catcher Jonathan Embry to get Richie Garcia at the plate. Here's the 0-2. Sidearm, slider. Have to admit, from where we're sitting, which is just for those watching, just probably off the screen to your left, he hides that ball really well. It almost feels like it's coming at you short-armed. It's difficult to pick up, especially for a right-hand hitter. So Barker will try the 0-2 again. And he got away with one there, kind of hung the slider. Gonzalez unable to get it in play.
Well, he's no different than any other Liberty pitcher so far. Always around the plate on 0-2 pitches, not wasting anything.
A walk and 3 hits for the Eagles in this inning. Only run, Garcia thrown out at the plate. The 0-2 fastball's high, 1-2. Joe Kinker waits in the on-deck circle. Hayes on third, Stevens on first. The 1-2. Slider, and that one hit to fairly deep right field, should score a run. Matthew with the catch, steps into a throw, coming home, good throw, but not in time as Hayes scores, and it's 7-1 FGCU.
Big run, nice at-bat by Gonzalez, got down 0-2, fouled off a couple, timed it right. 6-run lead.
So the Eagles, who gave up an unearned run in the top of the inning and then ran themselves into an out at the plate, have just kept on swinging. Brait with a double, Hayes with a double, Stevens with a single, Gonzalez with the sac fly. 7-1 FGCU. Fastball, first pitch swinging, and Kinker hits it to deep left center field, way back and gone. And that could be the dagger. First pitch, Joe Kinker with a blast onto the hill 7th homer for the freshman. 9-1 Eagles.
David, you didn't call that one per se right before he hit it, but you've had a feeling that he was going to break through.
He is very difficult to get a fastball by. And Barker figured he'd get ahead of him with a fastball. Oftentimes, 7-1 lead. Maybe you're not first pitch swinging. And that one was out of the strike zone, above the belt. And Kinker was, well, he was ready.
He missed a home run Thursday night by inches
Tomahawked
down the
it.
left field line.
Yep. Caromed off Alico Arena, he hit it so far. And Barker pounds the strike zone twice to get ahead of Cole Gilmore, 0-2.
And that at-bat Thursday night, he was down 0-2, eventually drew a walk, and you and I both thought that that could be the kind of at-bat that goes a long way in terms of confidence.
Kinker, who was moved up a spot in the batting order today. He had hits in the 7-hole in the first 2 games. Dave Tillett, because of the fact that Kinker was 2 for 5 with a double and 2 walks in the first 2 games of this series, moves him up a spot. 9-1 Eagles. Gilmore stays alive. Gilmore walked and scored the 5th Eagle run in the first inning and flied out to right field, leading off the 3rd.
So I think the dagger is a little early in the game, what you're talking about, but I go back to the top of the 3rd, top of the 4th, that Liberty could only scratch 1 run in.
And off the end of the bat, but it's going to find a hole down the third base line, and Gilmore's a 2-out base runner.
And now look what happens. They're only able to get 1 run in the top of the 3rd, had the bases loaded, top of the 4th, hit into a big double play, and now FGCU blows it open, 9-1. You and I did a game where FGCU came back from 8-0.
Against Lipscomb. Trailed by 8 in the 6th. Came back to win. Biggest comeback in school history. Liberty will have to turn the tables on FGCU by that same tune here today. Barker misses up an in-ball 1 to Christian Profit, who walked in the first inning and grounded to short in the 3rd. Well, a walk, a double, a single, a sac fly, a 2-run homer, and a single. That's been the Eagles' inning so far. Fastball at the letters for a strike. So 1 out was Garcia getting thrown out of the plate, and the other out was productive because it drove in a run. A 5-run first, and so far a 4-run 4th. 9-1 Eagles. Fastball at the knees on the corner. Good pitch, 1-2. And this is a big game for Liberty for a couple of reasons. One, obviously, they'd love to be the regular season ASUN champs. First year in the conference, put that one up on the wall, be the 1 seed. But we talked about it on Thursday, Greg. This team is very much in play for an at-large. And here's the 1-2. And that one fisted in the left center field. It's going to fall for a base hit. Gilmore will stop at second. So the Eagles were not done after the Kinker homer. Back-to-back singles for Gilmore and Profit. If Liberty had been able to win today, and I know the game's not over yet, it would have gotten the Flames to 38 wins. To get to the conference final day on Saturday, you have to win a minimum of 3 games. And so if you got Liberty in the conference championship series, they'd have a minimum, if they had won today, of 41 wins. 7-3 against the ACC, won a game at South Carolina, would have been regular season ASUN champs, only team to come into Swanson and win a series this year. They have an RPI, quite frankly, better than Florida State at the beginning of the day today.
It's hard to keep a team like that out.
Darn right it is. You're darn right it is, unless the room just wants to ignore them. Now, listen, 1, they could still come back and win today. 2, there's certainly more than capable of being ASUN tournament champions and not even in need of a debate. But I'm just saying, this is the only team in the ASUN that is in play for an at-large. And Barker misses 2-0 to Jalen Townsend, who had an RBI single in the first inning and struck out in the third. Ninth batter of the inning for FGCU. 4 runs in, first and second, 2 outs. The 2-0 from Barker. Fastball sliced down the left field line, but foul. Now you can still win 4 games in the ASUN tournament and not be tournament champions. So there's still a way to get to 41 wins, even with a loss today and even with not being the ASUN champs. But losing this series will hurt their RPI, probably put it into the 50s as opposed to the 40s if they had won today. Fastball misses 3-1. And Greg, you know how I feel. I think the ASUN is a conference that's worthy of 2 bids in baseball, at least 2 bids in softball. Soccer, most years, I felt this conference has gotten the short end of the stick many times from many an NCAA committee.
Well, they showed in men's basketball.
Well, yeah.
What a great conference it was.
Liberty winning an NCAA tournament game and Lipscomb going to the NIT championship game. The 3-1 from Barker. Townsend fouls it out of play. Count full at 3-2. Runners will be going with 2 outs here in the 4th. So first and second, Gilmore on second, Profit on first. Here's the 3-2 to Townsend. Fastball at the knees and a call, strike 3. So Barker able to strike out Townsend, but FGCU with 4 runs on 6 hits. No errors and 2 men left. We go to the 5th, 9-1 Eagles. Top of the 5th inning, Swanson Stadium. 9-1 FGCU. Eagles with 5 in the first, 4 in the 4th. Flames with an unearned run the last inning. Eagles have gotten virtually all of the big hits today. Liberty's had the bases loaded in each of the last 2 innings against Evan Lumbert and have only scored 1 unearned run.
So Lumbert's first 2 innings only had 23 pitches. He sailed. 3rd and 4th inning, he threw a combined 41 pitches. So if he wants to stay in this game past the 6th, 7th inning, now's the time to get that pitch count down.
Well, about 4 relievers have headed to the bullpen for FGCU. You know Dave Tillett's not going to waste a whole lot of time if Lumbert gets in trouble again. 2, 3, 4 in the Liberty lineup. Embry, Locklear, and Matthew. Embry takes a pitch that I guess was outside, ball 1. Jonathan, the catcher's 0 for 2 today. He's popped out to second and popped out to short. He's 3 for 10 in the series with a couple walks. Embry leads the team in homers with 9. And he's now ahead of the count 2-0. Three and 0 now. Lumbert, after retiring the first 7 of the game, had a couple walks in the 3rd inning. And he had a walk and a hit batsman in the fourth. The 3-0 fastball misses, and it's a 4-pitch walk to Jonathan Embry with a 9-1 lead. Got to have a heck of a sense of humor if you're a head coach who's also the pitching coach. 8-run lead, and you're walking batters on 4 pitches.
But he's like I said it before, against lefty hitters, he's not had great command of the strike zone.
Here's Cam Locklear, the shortstop. He's 0 for 2. Lumbert on the slider gets Locklear to go, 0-1. Cam struck out to end the first inning and grounded into a fielder's choice with the bases loaded, then the third inning.
Would have been 5 straight balls if Locklear had a little more plate discipline.
Lumbert tries to come back with the same pitch, but bounces it 1-1.
Got a left-hander up in the FGCU bullpen.
Well, the entire bullpen except for Gus Carter are available today. Carter threw 6 innings yesterday. Gave up just 1 run, career best performance, and it allowed FGCU to not have to burn through their bullpen in what turned out to be a 4-2 loss. Remember, Tyler Shuck was taken out after about 30 pitches on Thursday with 2 scoreless innings. And that one hit deep to left field. If it's fair, it's gone, but it's foul. I think that one hit the school bus.
Graduations are taking place all day long here on campus, high school graduations.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that one was off the roof of the school bus, right in front of Alico Arena. Count is 2-2 to Cam Locklear. Embry with the lead off first. Slider skied to right field. Hayes coming on. Can he get to it? He lost his cap, but he makes the catch. Long run for Hayes, who was a couple of steps towards right center field, and that one slicing towards the line. But a good running catch for Jay Hayes, and 1 away here in the 5th. And here's the first baseman, Logan Matthew, who's 1 for 2. He ripped a single off Lumbert his last time up and scored the only run of the game for Liberty. Profit playing up the middle, almost directly behind the bag defensively. While Gonzales, the second baseman, wants to play more towards the hole because Matthew's a full hitter. But right now he's staying at his normal second base position. And off the end of the bat, Profit able to field it, throw to Gonzales for the force, and the Eagles get 1. And now Matthew will be at first with 2 away.
Profit anticipated some spin on that ball on the hop and didn't hop too badly on him. Good play. Gonzalez got there just in time to get Embry at second.
Well, here's Wagner, who also singled off Lumbert his last time up. He's 1 for 2. All-speed pitch, and that one hit the fairly deep right field. Hayes is back, looking up at the wall, and it's gone. Will Wagner's 6th home run of the season, and the Flames get a couple of those runs back. It's 9-3. Well, he was first pitch swinging his last time up, and he singled on a fastball. So Lumbert decides, I'm going to throw you an off-speed pitch. But he hung it just a bit. And Wagner with a homer, 2 RBIs. Now 6 homers, 39 RBIs on the season. It's 9-3. And here's the DH Ben Highfill. And there's a curveball for a strike. And Wagner, when you look, Greg, at the Flames lineup, Embry in the 2-hole with 9 homers. Locklear's got 4 homers. Matthew, 7 homers. Wagner now 6 homers. The 2 through 5 hitters is really virtually all of their power. because Highfill with 1, Galazin with 2, Rohr with none, Guy with 1, Betts with none. I mean, the next 5 hitters have combined 4 home runs.
Yeah.
First pitch swing, or I should say 1-1 swinging. Skies it to left field. Stevens calls off Townsend to make the catch. So Wagner with the 2-run homer as the Flames score 2 on 1 hit. We're halfway at Swanson. Eagles 9, Flames 3. Bottom of the 5th inning, and another pitching change made by Scott Jackson for Liberty. 4th pitcher of the game, sophomore righty Landon Riley. His 19th appearance, all in relief. 1-0 record, 3.13 earned run average. Opponents hitting 163 against Landon Riley.
23 innings pitched, 17 walks, 29 strikeouts. Paltry average against, as David, you mentioned, 163.
So Logan Barker, who pitched 2/3 of an inning, gave up the 2-run homer to Joe Kinker. Noah Skiro went 2/3 of an inning, was responsible for all 5 runs. Mason Meyer, who pitched, had a good stretch in the game where he retired 7 of 8, but the Eagles got to him in the 4th and scored a couple. And then Logan Barker gave up the 2-run homer, and now it'll be Landon Riley's turn against the top of the FGCU lineup. Here we are in the bottom of the 5th, and Richie Garcia is batting for the 4th time. Garcia hit a homer to lead off this game, and the Eagles have not trailed since, and he was looking for another one. Strike 1. Garcia, with a solo homer, walked to drive in a run also in the 1st inning, and then walked and was thrown out at the plate last inning. So Richie's 1 for 1 with 2 walks and 2 RBIs. And the 0-1's a fastball on the corner, 0-2 for Landon Riley.
Couple scores from around the A-Sun, David. North Florida is leading Stetson right now, 4-3, and that's the important one.
Well, that means if Kennesaw State can beat Jacksonville, the Owls would be in, and it's a 3-pitch strikeout for Riley against Richie Garcia, 1 away.
Well, funny you should ask. Jacksonville is leading Kennesaw State 7-4.
Well, if Jacksonville wins, Stetson gets into the A-Sun tournament at Stetson. The Eagles last year hosted the A-Sun tournament and did not qualify for it, losing in the last day of the season to finish 7th. Stetson not wanting to suffer the same fate. Alex Brate, who singled and scored in the 1st inning, struck out to end the 1st inning and singled and scored last inning. Doubled and scored last inning. And he's ahead of the count 2-0. Riley to Brait. Off-speed pitch and a good one for a strike.
That's a real good 2-0 pitch. Off speed, right on the hands.
Brait looking fastball over the plate, something to turn on. And you also show the hitter that you're willing to throw something not a fastball when behind in the count. And the 2-1, and Brait's all over it and slices it into left center field. Guy, the center fielder, runs it down on the track. Nice play by Jalen Guy. So 2 away in the bottom of the 5th. And here's Jay Hayes, the senior, hit a 2-run homer in the 1st, grounded to 3rd in the 2nd, and doubled in a run last inning. So he is 2 for 3 with a homer and 3 RBIs and 2 runs scored. Not a bad senior day for Jay Hayes. Fastball low, 1-0. Hayes now with 9 homers leads the team. 47 RBIs leads the team. Curveball foul. There's a scout here from the Colorado Rockies, and I asked him, who you looking at before the game? And Jay Hayes, one of the guys on his radar. Can see why. He's played 3rd for most of the year. He's finishing the season in right field. Hayes hits one foul down the right field line. 1-2.
And I would think that he might have put a side note down about a freshman by the name of Joe Kinker, possibly.
Yeah, I think that home run last inning get a few people's attention, because there's not a ballpark in the world that'll hold that one. Hayes swings and misses, and a good inning in relief for Landon Riley as he strikes out 2 of the 3 Eagles that he faces. 5 innings in the books. To the winner goes the top seed of next week's A-Sun tournament. FGCU leads at 9-3. Top of the 6th we go, Swanson Stadium. Eagles with a 9-3 lead over the Flames. Evan Lumbert stays in the game for FGCU. It's been 3 hard innings in a row for Lumbert. Had to get out of a bases-loaded 1-out jam in the 3rd, Greg Anderson. Had to get out of a bases-loaded 2-out jam in the 4th inning, and he ended up surrendering a run on an error. Then last inning, he gives up a 2-run homer. And even though he's facing the bottom of the order here, 7, 8, 9, Galazin, Rohr, and Guy, if you look at your scorebook, 6 plate appearances, that trio's reached base 5 times.
Yeah, and one of them was an error, but the way I see this, I think he's in the game until he gives up a base runner. We've got arms ready to go out of the bullpen. He's at 79 pitches, but more importantly, he got a 6-run lead. Let's make sure this lead stays.
Fastball misses outside to Tyler Galazin, ball 1. Galazin popped out to 2nd and walked. He is 5 for 9 in the series. The 1-0 popped up behind the plate. Brait struggling to find it. Does he have room? No, it's out of play.
He caught it off the netting.
He did.
On the
He did. Both
Ricochet.
Brait and Garcia were battling each other to catch it off the netting.
Can't count that, huh?
1-1 the count. I could see where this is the last inning for Lumbert. This is his third time through the lineup. The 1-1 is lined in the left center field for a base hit. Townsend comes over to stop it from getting to the wall, and it's a leadoff single for Galazin. Well, third inning in a row in which the leadoff batter's been aboard. Matthew singled leading off the fourth. Embry walked leading off the fifth, and now here's Galazin singling to lead off the sixth inning. Here's left-hand hitting right fielder Brandon Rohr, who's 0 for 1. He's walked, reached on an error. The error scored the first run of the game for the Flames. Now it looks as if the Eagles are going to get somebody warming in the bullpen. Trying to check the number. I think it might be righty Nicholas Bittner, who pitched yesterday. Fastball catches the outside corner 1-1. Galazin's got good speed, but he's not going anywhere at first. Rohr fouls one back. Lumbert ahead 1-2. It's a hot one. And even though FGCU's used to playing in warm weather in southwest Florida, Lumbert's had to work hard 3 innings in a row. Temperatures in the low 90s. A little bit of humidity. You wonder, Greg, how much Lumbert's got left in the tank. The 1-2. 2-2.
That is Bittner up in the bullpen. They had a lefty up as well last inning.
Bittner yesterday, 2 innings, scoreless innings in relief through 31 pitches. Fastball on the outside corner at the knees. Call strike 3. Rohr knew it. He didn't like it, but he knew it. Just the third strikeout for Lumbert today, but a big one. Here's center fielder Jalen Guy. Guy singled in the third inning, was hit by a pitch in the fourth. So Lumbert yet to get him out. And this could be a batter-by-batter proposition right now for Lumbert. Off-speed pitch misses inside. If Guy didn't get out of the way of it, he would have been hit in the second straight at-bat.
He squared the bunt, down 6.
Well, you need base runners. I'm all for it. Remember, the 2 through 5 part of the lineup is where the power is. And Guy is the 9-hole hitter. The 1-0. Fastball right there, 1-1. (9-3) FGCU. 1 out, top of the 6th. Eagles closer Hunter McGarry did not pitch yesterday. Likely available for 2 innings today if needed. The 1-1. Off-speed pitch, and Guy swung and missed 1-2.
David, isn't McGarry usually available for 2 innings no matter what day it is?
Well, we certainly saw that on Thursday. And with an off day yesterday, I would say yes. So the Eagles don't need many more outs to turn it over to their best reliever. The 1-2, fouled off.
McGarry just has an easy-going delivery. He's sort of a tall, lanky guy. He just looks like a guy that could just throw a couple innings every day.
Well, and he also has pitches that sink. And there are a lot of people that believe that pitchers who throw sinkers actually pitch better tired. Swing and a miss and another off-speed pitch. Back-to-back strikeouts for Lumbert. 2 away, top of the order. Here's Gray Betts.
So here we are talking about how much more he's got, and he's matched his strikeouts for the day. Last strikeout he had was Heifel in the second. Now he's got back-to-back here in the sixth.
Pitch count getting up, what, near 90?
92, unofficially.
And here's the left fielder, Gray Betts, who's 0 for 2 with a walk. And I got a feeling this will be the last guy that Lombard faces as he misses outside ball 1, because the on-deck hitter is Jonathan Embry, who leads the team with 9 homers. And I'm not so sure that Dave Tillett wants Lombard facing Embry for a 4th time. The 1-0, fastball misses inside, 2-0.
Brate jumped out of his stance as soon as he caught that, possibly anticipating Galazin to steal. It didn't look like it was that far inside. I wonder if the ump got mixed up a little bit.
2-0, off-speed pitch, right through the heart of the plate, 2-1. And if you're Lombard here, Betts yet to hit a home run on the season. You just pound that strike zone. I know he's a 300 hitter, but trust your defense. Hope he hits it at somebody. The 2-1. Galazin fakes as if he's going. Pitches outside. 3-1 the count. Yeah, with a 6-run lead, I would not be worried about Galazin at first, even if he steals second. Okay. So that's a pretty big risk at this point. But Betts ahead of the count, 3-1. He would love to get Embry up at the plate in this inning. With 2 on, 1 swing away from making it a 3-run game. 3-1. Fastball in the corner. Good pitch, 3-2. That's the pitch he struggled with today. A tailing fastball away from the lefty batter, but still catching the outside corner. Well, Galazin will be running here with 2 outs and the count full at 3-2. Does Betts stay with the fastball or does he come off speed? The 3-2, fastball misses inside. 2 on, 2 out. 5th walk for Lombard in 5 2/3 innings. I mean, the Flames, 5 walks, 5 hits, and a key error in this game. It's not like they have not had their opportunities, Greg. I mean, they've left the bases loaded in 3rd and 4th innings. They got 2 on here in the 6th. And Jonathan Embry will face Lombard for the 4th time. Embry is 0 for 2 with a walk. Leads the team with 9 homers. And Lombard misses with an off-speed pitch high, 1-0. Embry popped out to second in the 1st inning, popped out to short in the 3rd inning, walked last inning. Lombard's pitch count near 100. The 1-0. Fastball in the dirt, 2-0.
By my count, that was his 100th pitch of the afternoon. And, you know, it's obvious to see it's a 6-run lead. If this was a 3-run lead, a 2-run lead, maybe Lombard's not in there right now.
But 1 swing of the bat totally changes this ball game. The 2-0. Fastball on the inside corner. Embry thought about it, tied him up just enough, 2-1.
Well, Brate was set up on the outside, and he missed his spot. Right in there on the inside portion for a strike.
Embry with 3 hits and 3 walks already in this series. The 2-1. Fastball check swing, went too far, 2-2. Couple of good fastballs by Lombard. Has tied Embry up.
I don't know if Embry is sitting on a breaking ball there. It was a pretty good pitch to swing at, and he just seemed like he was fooled.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think he was guessing, and he guessed wrong. If you're Lombard, do you triple up with the fastball? 2-2, misses away with it. Count goes full at 3-2. Oh, then bases on balls. A single, 2 strikeouts, and a walk. Runners will be going on the 3-2 pitch. Fastball is low. Back-to-back walks by Lumbert, and the bases are loaded for the 3rd time today for Liberty. Dave Tillett takes the slow walk to the mound. And it likely will be Nicholas Bittner coming in with the bases loaded here in the 6th. So a single, 2 strikeouts, and back-to-back walks. How many pitches for Lumbert?
104.
He's responsible for all 3 runners aboard. And in fact, it will be Nicholas Bittner coming into the game for FGCU. We'll take a quick break. 9-3 Eagles, but the Flames have the bases loaded in the 6th when we come back. Nick Bittner, who threw 2 scoreless innings yesterday, struck out 4. Comes into the game, inherits bases loaded, 2 outs. His 20th appearance of the season, 14th in relief. He's got a 3-2 record with a 2.72 earned run average. Opponents hitting .226 against him. Obviously, Liberty didn't like what they saw yesterday as he cruised through 2 innings. Don't know how many more outs he's going to be asked to get, but this would be a biggie. He threw 31 pitches yesterday, Greg.
But coming in, bases loaded, much different situation for any kind of reliever.
He'll face shortstop Cam Locklear, who's 0 for 3. Cam struck out to end the 1st inning, hit a fielder's choice to end the 3rd. Hit a fly ball to right field that Jay Hayes made a nice running catch on last inning.
Locklear's got 4 home runs on the season, like you had said. It's the heart of the order, or where the home runs are for this Liberty squad.
And if Locklear can reach, at least 1 run will score, and it'll bring Logan Matthew to the plate. And Logan is already homered in this series and is 2nd on the team in homers and leads the team in RBIs. So big spot in this game. Bittner, first pitch, fastball in the corner for a strike. Bittner, a sophomore who started his career at Indian River State College. Grew up on the Palm Coast, in Palm Coast, Florida. The 0-1. Good slider, 0-2. This is the only righty hitter in a string of lefties for Liberty. Here's the 0-2. Slider off the plate, 1-2. Locklear has not had a hit in this series. He's 0 for 9 with a walk. The 1-2 from Bittner. Fastball grounded up the middle. Gonzales charges, takes it, flips to Profit for the force, and the Eagles get out of it. No runs. 1 hit, 2 walks, and for the 3rd time today, the Flames leave the bases loaded. Bottom of the 6th, 9-3 Eagles. Bottom of the 6th. Eagles are 9 outs away from what would be their 6th regular season ASUN title. Landon Riley beginning his second inning of relief for the Flames. 5 runs for FGCU in the first, 4 in the fourth. Flames have had the bases loaded in the third, the fourth, and the 6th innings and only have 1 run to score for it, and that was unearned. So even though the scoreboard says 9-3, a couple of hits in the right spots for Liberty. This would be a whole different ballgame.
In the game that you and I did Thursday night, FGCU was the team that got the timely hits. Same thing this afternoon. And the scoreboard is reflecting that right now.
Keith Stevens, who's 2 for 3 with a pair of singles. He is 6 for 9 in this series. Fastball fouled back again, 0-2. Stevens, who leads the team in hitting coming into the game at 341. The reigning ASUN player of the week. Don't know if he's going to win it this week. Probably not, but he is 6 for 9 with a homer, 2 RBIs, and 2 walks in this series. The 0-2 misses 1-2. 4, 5, 6 in the lineup for the Eagles. Stevens, Gonzalez, and Kinker. The 1-2. Stevens reaches out, grounds it to Wagner at second. Over to Matthew at first, 1 away. Here comes the second baseman, Eric Gonzalez. He's 0 for 1 with an RBI and a run scored. Gonzalez walked and scored as part of that 5-run first. Struck out in the second. And came from behind 0-2 to lift a sac fly to keep the 4-run 4th inning going. And immediately after Gonzalez, Kinker hit the 2-run homer.
Gonzalez right on top of that fastball. Fouled it back. First pitch swinging.
Gonzalez, one of 6 celebrating senior day on this final home game of the regular season, and he fists one into right field for a base hit. What a senior year he's had. And he's now 3 for 8 in the series. And here comes Kinker. He struck out in the first, grounded out in the second, and hit about a 450-foot homer in the 4th inning that gave the Eagles at the time a 9-1 lead. Off-speed pitch on the corner. Strike 1.
Probably going to see a couple more off-speed pitches this at-bat.
Yeah, well, Logan Barker started Kinker off with a bell-tie fastball, and that's the one they're still looking for. So Riley said, how if I go a little softer? And Kinker lines the fastball to center. Coming on. Can't catch it is Guy. He short hops it, keeps it in front of him, though. And so Kinker and Gonzalez back-to-back singles with 1 out here in the 6th.
So we've talked plenty today and Thursday about the winner of this game possibly having to face off against Stetson.
Correct.
And, you know, Stetson hosting, you got to go against their number 1 pitcher. But, you know, if it's FGCU, FGCU's got a couple good pitchers. And offensively, FGCU is as capable as any in this conference.
No question. As first baseman Cole Gilmore steps to the plate, he walked and scored the 5th run in the 1st inning. Flied out to right field in the 3rd. And that was to the warning track in right. And then singled in the 4th inning. 1st and 2nd, 1 out, bottom of the 6th, 9-3 Eagles. And that one bounces and gets away from Embry. And so the runners will move up into scoring position. And so now a single could drive in 2. And if you're Liberty now, you've got to bring the infield in. You can't allow them to score a run on a ground ball to the right side of the infield. And so Matthew, the first baseman, is a step behind the bag.
Yeah, they're not on the grass, but they're definitely in from their normal spots.
Shortstop Locklear, second baseman Wagner is in, and Gilmore swings at a high curveball. Doesn't get a lot of it. This could be a play at the plate. Guy is under it, makes the catch. Here comes Gonzales. The throw will not be in time, and it's a sac fly for Gilmore, and the Eagles lead at 10-3. So Gonzalez had a sac fly in the fourth inning, and now he scores via sac fly here in the sixth. And so that wild pitch, costly, because it's directly led to at least one run.
It's funny, having a six-run lead, it's funny how you get greedy, and you want more. You want a seventh. You want an eighth.
And so now Kinker at second with two away, and here's Christian Profit, who takes an off-speed pitch for a strike. Profit walked in the first, grounded out in the third, singled in the fourth. So 1 for 2 for a walk, and Profit 3 for 9 in the series. Slowly beginning to look more and more like the ASUN freshman of the year from a year ago.
If
0-2 now to Profit.
If Profit could get a base hit here, get his fourth hit of the series, it's the bottom of the sixth, so maybe he gets another at-bat, but this could just be enough to get him motivated enough and confident enough to have a really nice ASUN tournament.
The 0-2's in the dirt, and that gets away from Embry, and Kinker will hustle on down to third. So we've had 2 singles and 2 wild pitches in this inning. Landon Riley in his second inning of work. Left-hand hitting Jalen Townsend in the on-deck circle. Well, who could have seen this coming? The ASUN regular season title up for grabs. Couple of close ball games on Thursday and Friday nights. Fastball right on the outside corner. Call strike 3. Third strikeout for Riley in his 2 innings of relief thus far. But the Eagles score a run on 2 hits, and they leave 1. And we've played 6 at Swanson. FGCU 9 outs away from the title, leading it 10-3. Nicholas Bittner, who got the final out of the 6th inning, stays in there to begin the 7th. He'll face 4, 5, 6 in the Liberty lineup. Logan Matthew, Will Wagner, and Ben Highfill. 10-3 FGCU. 5 in the first for the Eagles, and they have not looked back, although Liberty in the 3rd, 4th, and 6th innings have loaded the bases and did not come up with the big hit in either one of those innings. The big hit actually came in the 5th when Will Wagner hit a 2-run homer. Matthew pulls a fastball foul, 1-1. Logan's 1 for 3 today with a single and a run scored. Stetson is leading North Florida in the late inning 6-4. A Hatters win, and they're the 6th seed, and that's who FGCU would face in the first round of the ASUN tournament next Wednesday. All-speed pitch on the outside corner, and Bittner ahead of Matthew, 1-2. If Stetson beats North Florida, that locks in the Ospreys as the 5 seed, and that's who Liberty would face on Wednesday in DeLand. So the Stetson UNF game, big implications as a swing and a miss at the changeup. Brait dropped it, so he had to chase it down and throws to first, but Matthew strikes out, 1 away in the 7th. Trey Vickery is warming up in the FGCU bullpen as the Eagles are 8 outs away. Here's left-hand hitting second baseman Will Wagner, who's 2 for 3 today with a 2-run homer and a single. And he also popped out in foul territory his first time up behind third. And Wagner, first pitch swinging, fists one to second. Gonzales double clutches. Gilmore able to keep his foot on the bag. And Bittner is 2 quick outs here in the 7th.
First pitch swinging, a little different result this time.
Yes. Last time first pitch swinging, he hit one out of the ballpark. And the time before that first pitch swinging, he had a single. And here's the DH, Ben Highfill. 0 for 3 today. 3 for 12 for the series. Highfill came up with the bases loaded, hit into a double play with 2 out and nobody on in the 4th inning. Flied out to left field in the 5th inning and struck out to end the 2nd. Bittner, fastball, lined right at Townsend. He hardly had to move to make the catch, and a quick 7th inning for Bittner and the Eagles. 7th inning stretch time at Swanson. FGCU 6 outs away, leading at 10-3. Bottom of the 7th, here at FGCU, Eagles leading the Flames 10-3. To the winner goes the ASUN title. It would obviously be the first for Liberty, with their being the first year in the conference. For the Eagles, it would be their 5th regular season championship. I had said 6 earlier. They won the tournament title 2 years ago to make it to the NCAA tournament for the first time. But their regular season titles, Greg, their first 3 years in the conference in 08, 09, and 2010. That's when that skinny lefty from Lakeland, who's doing okay with the Red Sox, was part of the team. I think Chris Sale's his name.
It's interesting being a spring training guy like myself. He didn't pitch much in the spring.
No, he did not.
And there were some questions about what Cora was doing with the starters, and boy, did Boston get off to a rough start.
Yes, they did.
And boy, did Chris Sale get off to a rough start. But
0-5, I believe.
Seems pretty good now.
Yeah, he's last outing, 17 strikeouts?
Yep.
Jalen Townsend steps in against Landon Riley, who's beginning his third inning of relief. Scott Jackson does have a righty warming up in the bullpen. The 1-1, and Townsend pops it up into the infield. Wagner, the second baseman, gives away to the shortstop Locklear. And Townsend is now 1 for 4, 1 away. Top of the order for Richie Garcia.
But it's quite a luxury if you're Joey Cora in Boston, knowing you're that good to sacrifice a couple games for a few weeks of this year.
Well,
it's cold, it's rainy. We'll be ready in the second half.
And also, they pitched a lot of innings last year.
Mm-hmm.
And he took a look at that rotation and said, we threw a lot of innings, and it's a long season, and we're planning on being there in October, and you guys may not like it in March or April.
Well, you've got such an understanding fan base up there that they will live with.
Right. Yeah. But remember, they were nearly 10 games below 500. They went to the Trop for a 3-game series against the Rays when the Rays were off to that red-hot start. Off the end of the bat, head-first dive by Garcia, but he's out. And, if you're Dave Tillett, you're just taking a deep breath, and you're like, Richie, do not get hurt.
Yeah.
4 days before the ASUN tournament. 2 outs here in the 7th, and here's the catcher, Alex Brait. Brait singled and scored in the first inning, struck out to end the first inning, singled and scored in the 4th inning, and flied out to center in the 5th. So Brait's 2 for 4. He is 5 for 12 in the series. Brait scored the first run of this series, first inning on Thursday night with an opposite field homer. And the wind is blowing out to left. Landon Riley's done a nice job in relief for the for the Flames. 2 2/3 innings so far. He's given up just 1 run. Ten runs, 13 hits for the Eagles. 3 runs, 5 hits for the Flames. Opposite field, fairly deep left. Betts on the edge of the track makes the catch, and the side is retired. A 1-2-3 inning for Riley. We've played 7. The Eagles 6 outs away from the ASUN title, leading it 10-3. So how many pitches has Bittner thrown? Like 15?
11.
Of course, no one sees that one. Top of the 8th here at Swanson Stadium. Eagles 6 outs away from their 5th regular season ASUN title. With it would come the top seed in next week's ASUN tournament. At the moment, that would mean a date with Stetson, Liberty would be the 2 seed, and at the moment, based on the Stetson North Florida score, that would mean a date in the first round with the Ospreys of North Florida. Nick Bittner, who's recorded 4 outs on 11 pitches, stays in there to start the 8th inning, and he'll face the bottom part of the order for the Flames, 7, 8, 9, Gallison, Rohr, and Guy. Tyler Gallison is 1 for 2 with a walk, having singled his last time up. He is 6 for 10 in this series, Greg.
McGarry is getting loose in the FGCU bullpen, just in case.
Trey Vickery was warming up before him, so I don't think it would take very long for Vickery to come in if, in fact, Dave Tillett wanted to go with a lefty. And Gallison rips one to left field. Did I mention he's had a good series?
I believe that would be 7 for 11 now, if my addition is correct.
Correct. Throw in a walk just for good measure. So Gallison's the leadoff base runner here in the 8th. Remember, 31 pitches for Bittner yesterday. He finished the 6th, pitched a 1-2-3 7th, and is now starting again here in the 8th inning, and Brandon Rohr takes a strike. Rohr 0 for 2 with a walk. In the 4th inning, he had a sharp ground ball to first that Gilmore misplayed, and it led to an unearned run, the first run of the day for Liberty. The 0-1's in the dirt, 1-1.
Rohr's last at-bat in the 6th inning, I thought, was a key strikeout by Lumbert. I thought Lumbert at that time, if he didn't get a Rohr, he might get pulled. And instead, he stayed in there, struck out the next 2, eventually got pulled that inning in favor of Bittner.
Gallison draws a throw.
Gallison was leaning. They need base runners, but I don't know if they're going to be running here down 7.
I would be shocked. Not surprised, shocked. The 1-1. Fastball on the corner, just below the belt. It's one of those pitches that the hitter thinks is a ball. It's got to be a ball. But in fact, it's in that top corner of the quadrant, and it's 1-2. Cliff Lee used to live there. In the last 20 years, probably the best pitcher to be able to just consistently get that high strike. Inside, outside. The 1-2, curveball, line to left center field. That'll get down for a base hit. And so Gallison and Rohr with back-to-back singles to lead off the 8th inning. And we'll see how much longer Dave Tillett goes with Bittner. McGarry doesn't look as if he's warm yet. It shouldn't take long in this weather. And McGarry did not pitch yesterday. Here's the center fielder, Jalen Guy, who's 1 for 2, having singled and been hit by a pitch. He bunts at it and fouls it off. Guy singled in the 3rd inning, hit by a pitch in the 4th, struck out in the 6th, the last out recorded by FGCU starter Evan Lumbert. The 0-1. Guy fists it right side. It's in play. Gilmore gives way to the second baseman Gonzalez. Infield fly rule in effect, 1 away.
Seen a handful of those pop-ups today by Liberty. That's a big out right there.
5 outs left for the Eagles.
Unproductive out, as some would say. Didn't get the runners over.
Well, here's left fielder Gray Betts. Betts is 0 for 2, having walked twice. He's 2 for 10 in the series with 3 walks and 2 RBIs. And the power are the next 4 in the lineup for Liberty. I think this is a key at bat for the Flames. Betts gets on or gets a hit, whatever the case may be. I think it chases Bittner, brings McGarry into the game, and it allows Embry, with his team leading 9 homers, Locklear, Matthew, Wagner, chance to come up with ducks on the pond. Sometimes it's not the 9th inning that's your last good shot. Sometimes it's the 8th.
And we saw in the major leagues, Cleveland a couple of years ago, bringing in their unbelievable bullpen in all just situational spots. Didn't matter if it was the 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th.
Well, go back to Bill James 20 years ago and the argument that, hey, if the heart of the order's coming up in the 8th inning, bring your closer in then. And have your second best reliever pitch the 9th. But it's tough to get closers to agree to that and give up the save. Bittner behind 2-0. And Betts swinging, lines one to left center field for a base hit. Gallison will score easily. Rohr is trying to go to third, and he makes it. Runners on the corners with 1 out, and the Flames have cut it to 10-4. Well, that's where being aggressive worked out. Generation ago, down 7, 2-0, you'd be taking. Now, hey, probably going to get a fastball. Look for it and hit it. And Betts does just that.
And I think it's easier to do that when you're a 300 hitter as well.
And Dave Tillett making the slow walk to the mound. He's got to be thrilled, though, with Bittner. Bittner, 2 shutout innings in relief yesterday to save the back end of the bullpen from having to come into the game. Then he came in with bases loaded, 2 outs in the 6th, and got Locklear to ground out to end the inning. 1, 2, 3, 7th for good measure, and at least gets 1 out here in the 8th. And when you've got a 7-run lead at the beginning of the inning, you'll trade runs for outs. But Liberty with a chance here to get back in it, and they'll have to do so against Hunter McGarry. We'll give you his numbers when we come back. 10-4 FGCU, 2 on with 1 out for the Flames here in the top of the 8th. FGCU closer Hunter McGarry, the junior righty out of Bradenton. 6-1 on the season with 9 saves and an ERA just over 2. Opponent's hitting a $180 against Hunter McGarry, the 6'2", lanky righty for the Eagles. Keeps the ball in the ballpark normally, Greg, because all of his pitches seemingly are heading down. He's given up just 1 home run, only 6 extra base hits on the season.
And being called upon for a 5-out save, nothing new for McGarry this year.
Gary had a 6-out save for the Eagles in a much tighter spot on Thursday night. Came into a 6-4 game. and got the final 6 outs, although Liberty made them work. Here's McGarry to face left-hand hitting catcher Jonathan Embry, who leads the team with 9 home runs. First and third, 1 out. And that one grounded by Gilmore right side for a base hit. RBI single for Embry. Betts will go to third, and it's 10-5. Fourth hit of the inning for the Flames. Fourth single of the inning for the Flames.
First pitch swinging. Anticipating that McGarry wanted to get out in front. Again, a 5-run lead. You got a little wiggle room.
First and third, 1 out. Here's the shortstop, Cam Locklear. Locklear 0 for 4 today, 0 for 10 in the series. McGarry missing low, 1-0. Logan Matthew in the on-deck circle. Second on the team in homers, leading the team in RBIs. The 1-0 from McGarry. Runners going at first. Check swing and a strike and no throw to second as Embry steals second. Little indifference there from FGCU, but now a single could drive in 2. And it takes away the double play. And McGarry on Thursday night, Greg, got out of a first and third nobody out situation with a pop-up and a ground ball double play. And I think the Flames remember that, and they're like, we're going to take the DP out of the equation. The 1-1, swing and a miss as Locklear looks lost against McGarry. He's just swung at 2 pitches that were in the dirt.
Yeah, and that 1-0 pitch that Embry was stealing on, even if it's not in the dirt, I'm not sure Brait even tries to throw down to second base.
Well, Locklear, even if he makes contact here, ground ball can score a run. McGarry looking for the strikeout. The 1-2. Fastball just misses. 2-2. (10-5), 1 out, top of the 8th. Second and third for Liberty. Heart of the order. Cam Locklear, the 3-hole hitter. Logan Matthew, big left-handed stick waiting in the on-deck circle. McGarry taking plenty of time, the 2-2. Curveball, swing and a miss, strike 3. Pulled the string on Locklear, and this is a series to forget for Cam Locklear as he's 0 for 5 today, 0 for 11 for the 3 games. And here's Logan Matthew, who's done some first pitch swinging in this game. He's 1 for 4 with a single and a run scored back in the 4th inning. He's 2 for 12 in the series. His first hit of the series was a home run off the scoreboard in right center field on Thursday night.
Yeah, he's only seen 6 pitches today, David.
Gary misses low and away, ball 1. And if you're Liberty, this could be your last best shot. Matthew and or Wagner behind him. McGarry gets Matthew. So minimum 5-run lead going to the 9th. And, well, that's asking a whole lot against one of the 10 best closers in college baseball this year. The 1-0. Fastball catches the outside corner. 1-1.
McGarry got him Thursday night in the 9th inning on a strikeout.
As an advantage for Matthew, though, he's at least seen him. 10-5, second and third, 2 outs. The 1-1. Fastball fouled off at the plate. McGarry keeping that ball down. Matthew looking to lift it. Looking to get the Flames within 2.
This was the count that McGarry got him on Thursday night. It was a 1-2 count.
Well, Matthew watched from the on-deck circle as McGarry pulled the string on a 2-2 curveball. Does he have the guts to throw that pitch to Matthew? The 1-2. Sinker, low. He did pull the string on it. Took something off it. 2-2 the count. Betts on third. Embry on second. Outfield is deep. A single through the infield will definitely score 2. The 2-2. In the dirt. Good play by Brate. Count's gone full. 3-2. Will Wagner, who's already homered today, waits in the on-deck circle. If you're McGarry, what do you go with here?
I pull the trigger on a curveball. Keep it nice and low.
The 3-2 to Matthew. Fouled off. It's that hard sinker. That's his go-to pitch. That's his best pitch. And usually the rule of thumb, Greg, is you get in a spot like this, you throw your best and you look at the hitter as if to say, hey, you beat me with my best. I can live with that. Last thing you want as a closer is to get beat throwing a secondary pitch. We'll do it again, the 3-2. Lined up the middle, base hit. 2 runs will score. This is a 4-run 8th for the Flames. And the tying run is in the on-deck circle. 10-7 Eagles. Gallazin singled. Rohr singled. Jalen Guy popped out to second. Betts singled. Embry singled. Stole a base. Locklear struck out. Matthew with a 2 RBI single. 4 runs are in. 10-7 Eagles. Will Wagner, who's 2 for 4, including a 2-run homer, steps in against McGarry. And that one, line stopped at third by Garcia. What a play! That would have been extra bases. And instead, it's the 3rd out of the 8th. Liberty with 4 runs, and Richie Garcia keeps it from being more. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 10-7 Eagles. Wow.
Yeah. Cole Garrett pitching.
Because the tying run comes to the plate.
It's 4th time in a row he's swinging at the first pitch.
Well.
Jeez. All these guys. Good numbers. Well, David Moulton, play of the game there.
Oh, no question. No question. Garcia taking extra bases away from Will Wagner. and would have brought the tying run to the plate at the very least. Don't know if Matthew scores from first. Might have been a second and third two-out situation, but it would have been 10-7, a single able to make it 10-9, and McGarry and the Eagles would have been reeling. And instead, Richie Garcia, with a diving stop, ball squirts out of his glove. He's able to pick it up, throw over to first, and now it'll be fifth pitcher of the game for Liberty, 6-foot freshman righty Cole Garrett. His 10th appearance of the season. He has an ERA of 1.29. Opponents hitting $160 against Cole Garrett.
Well, he's got to come in against a very hot hitting team, the heart of the order, Hayes, Stevens, Gonzalez, and down to a 3-run lead.
10-7.
Always going to want a couple more.
It was 9-1 after 4, 10-3 after 7. Flames with 4 in the 8th to certainly make it interesting. And Garrett's first pitch to Jay Hayes is a strike. Jay, one of the 6 in the senior class, 5 seniors, and Cole Gilmore, who's a graduating junior, honored before the game on this senior day. He hit a 2-run homer in the first to give the Eagles a 3-0 lead, had an RBI single, and scored a run in a 4-run fourth inning. He's 2 for 4 on the day.
If Garrett keeps the ball up in the zone like this, well, the FGCU could be looking at a couple runs.
Well, the Eagles like themselves some high fastballs. Jay Hayes, who's at the plate, Keith Stevens, who's on deck. Fourth hitter in this inning would be Joe Kinker, and we've already seen today what he can do with high fastball. Hayes' 2-run homer in the first was on an off-speed pitch that was off the plate.
Yeah, 0-2 pitch. The biggest mistake Skiro made was he just kept it up.
But it was a couple inches off the plate. Hayes had to wait on it, reach out and get it. And he waited on that curveball and fouled it straight back. (10-7) FGCU. The winner today is the 1 seed in the ASUN tournament, beginning on Wednesday at Stetson. Last we heard, the Hatters had a late inning lead on North Florida. If that result holds, it determines who the 5 and 6 seeds are in the ASUN tournament. Translation, who FGCU and Liberty both play on Wednesday.
Yeah, 6 pitches for Garrett so far, all of them up.
The 3-2, fastball's high, and Hayes works out a walk. So the third time that Hayes has reached base today, and a leadoff base runner for the Eagles. Here's left fielder Keith Stevens, another senior. He's 2 for 4, 2 singles.
Stevens Thursday night got a fastball up in the zone and hit it out to left center field.
It was the game-winning homer, broke a 4-all tie. Fastball high, 1-0. Stevens 6 for 10 in the series. And last week he was the reigning ASUN Player of the Year, or Player of the Week, excuse me. Hayes with the leadoff first, not a threat to run. Off-speed pitch misses, 2-0.
That's the first pitch he has thrown that has not been above the letters, above the belt, and looks like the pitching coach is going to go out and have a little chat. Not the only one that's noticed this.
Well, Scott Jackson is quickly getting a reliever ready in the bullpen, desperately trying to keep this at 10-7 to give his team a fighting chance here in the 9th inning. Eagles looking for their 5th regular season ASUN title. Their first 3 years in the league, they won it. 2014, they were the 1 seed heading into the ASUN tournament. And looking to be the 1 seed with a win here today. FGCU has not lost a series at home all year. conference or non-conference. And yesterday's win by Liberty, the first by an ASUN team at Swanson Stadium this year. Eagles looking to go 11-1 at home in ASUN play on their way to the 1 seed. Bottom of the 8th inning, 2-0 the count, and he hits him with a fastball up high. Obviously not intentional. But the Eagles, with a walk and a hit batsman, had the first 2 men aboard here in the 8th. And up steps right-hand hitting senior second baseman Eric Gonzalez. So these are likely the final at-bats for 3 seniors in a row here at home, Greg Anderson. Jay Hayes with a single, Stevens walks, and now here's Eric Gonzalez, who's 2 for 3 with a walk and an RBI. He walked and scored in the first, struck out in the second, had the sac fly in the fourth, singled in the fifth, singled and scored in the sixth, and he's not going to get to face Cole Garrett.
Quick outing for Cole Garrett.
Very quick, and also a bit unusual looking at his numbers on the season.
Well, the only thing is that he hadn't thrown much. It's tough as a freshman to break into a pitching rotation, not even talking about starting, just to get regular innings when your pitching staff is as good as it is. So he's only thrown 14 innings, and it's going to stay 14 innings since he didn't record an out today.
Well, Garrett with just his 6th walk on the season and also his 2nd hit batsman of the season. And so Scott Jackson going to the bullpen, and in comes Garrett Price. Well, Garrett Price, one of his 2 go-to relievers. This is 26th appearance of the season, and all but one of them has been in relief. Price with a 7-3 record with 3 saves and a 2.93 earned run average. Garrett Price, who pitched an inning and 2/3 Thursday night, and the Eagles scored 2 runs off him. He threw 30 pitches in that outing on Thursday. Did not appear yesterday. So Cole Garrett does not record an out and is responsible for both runners. And we'll see if Garrett Price can keep it to 3 for Liberty. And the Eagles, you looking to bunt here?
Yeah.
It's the 5-hole hitter, Eric Gonzalez. He's good with the bat.
Yep.
Well, you could see if you're Scott Jackson and Liberty, 1st and 2nd, nobody out. If Gonzalez bunts the runners over, then you've got a decision to make with Kinker with first base open. Do you walk him intentionally to set up the double play? Then again, Kinker strikes out more than anyone else on the team, so do you go after him? But first things first, Eric Gonzalez comes up.
Yeah, the way Kinker is swinging, you're not going to try to get him.
Third baseman Gallison is 3 steps in front of the bag. He's in the cutout in front of third. Gonzalez showing bunt. First baseman Matthew is halfway to home when.
Man, the way Gonzalez is showing so early, I wonder if he's going to pull it back.
Garrett Price looks around. Matthew cheating in. Gallison remains at third. Gonzalez bunts it with spin, and it hits in the dirt and bounces foul. If that one had landed in the grass, it might have stayed fair. But it landed fair, but on the dirt, and the spin took it foul.
So based on what Liberty did there, they brought in the first baseman, Matthew. They kept Galazin on the bag at third, so Gonzalez definitely wants to bunt this down the third baseline if he can, if they're going to keep that same defense.
Gonzalez had a sac fly in the 4th inning. The 0-1, and he bunts it in front of the mound. Price fields it, goes to third, in the dirt, and everybody's safe. It would have been close if Galazin came up with the throw. Hayes off running in contact, but everyone's safe, and now the Eagles with a chance to get some of those runs back that Liberty scored in the top half of the 8th. Bases are loaded, nobody out.
Got a fielder's choice with an E1, correct?
Do you make it an E1, or do you just say a straight fielder's choice?
Okay.
I think they're just going to call it a fielder's choice all the way around. The bunt was decent. Garrett Price went for the out at third, and so now bases are loaded, nobody out, and Joe Kinker takes a fastball at the knees for a strike.
Yeah, if you're Liberty, not the situation where you want to see Joe Kinker.
Well, also, in theory, you need the out at first there. Got to get an out there. The 0-1. Kinker swings and misses, and he's behind in the count 0-2. Kinker is 2 for 4 today. 2-run homer in the 4th inning, a single in the 6th. Struck out in the 1st, grounded out in the 2nd.
We've seen this before.
In fact, the exact same thing happened Thursday. He was down in the count 0-2. Third base coach comes over, gives him a pep talk. He came back, and I believe he worked out a walk.
Worked out the walk.
And it changed his entire series. Bases loaded, nobody out. The 0-2 from Price. In the dirt. Well, just above the dirt, actually. But low, ball 1.
That's a little bit of a better pitch than the one-strike pitch that Kinker swung at.
Well, I would think you go hard breaking ball, slider here, something down, something away, trying to get the strikeout. Infield in, the 1-2, and Kinker. It's a fastball, and he skies it down the left field line. Long run for Betts, but it's out of play.
An inside fastball on that 1-2 count. Had home run distance, but quite foul.
Infield is in, but 3 infielders on the left field side. Matthew alone at first. Big hole at second. Swing. Ball gets away. Kinker can't go anywhere. He was hustling, but there's no place to go, Joe.
Yeah, you got to give him that much.
So a big strikeout for Price, 1 away. That's what we were talking about. If they had gotten the out on the sacrifice, now that's 2 outs, and you can play the infield back and ground ball, get out of the inning, the whole deal. Cole Gilmore hit into 2 double plays on Thursday. And that's what Liberty is thinking about here. He is 1 for 2 with an RBI, having walked and scored in the 1st inning, singled in the 4th, and had a sac fly in the 6th inning. Bases loaded, 1 outs for Gilmore, a junior who is graduating, so he was part of senior day festivities here at Swanson Stadium.
Well, David, you had called Kinker's home run in the 4th the possible dagger. I'm going to go out on a limb here. We score a couple here, and that's the dagger.
Gilmore, swing and a miss at a changeup. Gutsy pitch by Price, 1-1.
Gilmore would love to have that one back.
Gilmore is 2 for 9 in the series, but he does have 3 RBIs. The 1-1. Swing and a miss. And the count's 1-2. That's where Price wants to keep it, because even if Gilmore puts it into play, he'll hit it on the ground, and Cole does not have great speed. He is a prime candidate to be doubled up. Bases loaded, 1 out. 1-2 pitch. Low. Good job by Embry at the plate. 2-2.
Embry did some dancing back there looking for that ball. Sometimes that's the hardest one to find, the one right next to you.
Well, if you're Price, whatever you want your out pitch to be against Gilmore, you want to throw it now. Because at 3-2, you may just have to throw a fastball for a strike. 2-2. In the dirt, swing and a miss by Gilmore, and back-to-back strikeouts by Garrett Price. 2 away. And what a lift this would be for Liberty heading into the dugout for the 9th inning if Price can get out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation. But he's not out of it yet. Christian Profit.
Profit struck out swinging struck out looking last time, and we had talked about him trying to boost his confidence.
He walked in the first, singled in the 4th, grounded out and struck out in and around that. Curveball at the knees on the corner, strike 1. So Liberty, who scored 4 in the top of the 8th, Eagles load the bases with nobody out, and Garrett Price trying to get out of it. The 0-1, fastball low, 1-1. Jay Hayes singled. Keith Stevens was hit by a pitch. Gonzales tried to bunt him over. They tried to get the lead runner, and Hayes was safe on a fielder's choice. And then Garrett Price has struck out Joe Kinker and Cole Gilmore back-to-back. The 1-1 check swing. Did he go? Home plate umpire doesn't even have to check. Yes, he did. Ray Parrish says the count is 1-2 on Christian Profit. The 1-2 to Profit. And Profit reaches out, bunts it into right field, if you will, but it hangs up for Rohr, and he makes the catch. The Eagles load the bases with nobody out and do not score. Now Hunter McGarry to try to get the final 3 outs for the Eagles. It's 10-7 FGCU as we head to the 9th. Top of the 9th inning, Swanson Stadium. 1 change for the Eagles. Corey Clement comes in defensively at first base for Cole Gilmore. 10-7 FGCU. Hunter McGarry facing 6, 7, 8 in the Liberty lineup. Ben Highfill, Tyler Gallison, and Brandon Rohr. Flames with 4 in the top of the 8th to make a game of it at 10-7. And then get out of a bases loaded, nobody out jam in the bottom of the 8th, so Liberty feeling about as good as you can, trailing by 3, needing 3 with only 3 outs to go against Hunter McGarry, who misses to Ben Highfill, ball 1. Highfield's 0 for 4. Struck out, hit into a double play. Flied out to left, lined out to center. The 1-0. Right in there, 1-1. Notice the adjustment that McGarry made there. First pitch, breaking ball. Normally 3-run lead, you just pound the zone. But what has Liberty been doing lately?
Been jumping on the first pitch.
The 1-1. And that one lined up the middle. Base hit for Highfield. Tying run will be in the on-deck circle.
Gary came back with a fastball, and Highfield was all over it.
Gary got it up, and Highfield with his first hit of the game. And here's Gallison, and what a series he's had. He's 2 for 3 today with a walk. He's 7 for 11 in the series. He came in red hot, hit nearly 400 in his last 2 series. 7 for 11, as I mentioned in this one. 2 singles and a run scored today. Throw in a walk. Gallison first pitch swinging, fouls it off at the plate. Now, if you're McGarry and the Eagles, Gallison 2 homers, Rohr none, Guy 1, Betts none. Next 4 guys due up combined have 3 home runs. And McGarry's given up 1 homer on the season. You got to go right after him. The 0-1. Off-speed pitch, 0-2.
Gallison is the 7 hitter in the lineup. So we're looking at 7, 8, 9, the next 3. With Highfield on at first base. Definitely don't want to turn this order over.
Any of the next 3 guys get on, the tying run comes to the plate, which was difficult to imagine when it was 10-3 at the top of the 8th. Swing and a miss at an off-speed pitch. McGarry pulls the string back-to-back, and Gallison strikes out. 2 outs away for FGCU. Stetson beat North Florida 6-5. The winner of this game will face the Hatters in DeLand on Wednesday. The loser will face North Florida. That much is known. What's still to be determined, whether or not Jacksonville or Lipscomb, who's the 3, who's the 4, but they're going to be playing each other. 1 away. First pitch swinging is Rohr, and it's foul tip into the glove, strike 1. The 0-1 to Rohr. Lined up the middle, past the diving Gonzalez at second, inner center field, and Liberty brings the tying run to the plate in the 9th inning. Think about when the 8th inning started, Greg. It was 10-3. Bottom of the order was coming up for the Flames. And to think over a half hour later, they are bringing the tying run to the plate.
Yeah, it's something that definitely was not in the forefront of our thoughts here. And at this point, Liberty is hitting the ball hard. Gonzalez got his glove on that one, just enough to deflect it, but had no chance of making that play.
First and second, 1 out. Jalen Guy is the tying run at the plate. And he takes a fastball on the corner for a strike. Guy is 1 for 3 today, and he was hit by a pitch, so he's reached base twice. He's 2 for 7 in the series. 1 home run on the season.
One thing we have seen over these last couple days, Liberty has hit into some opportune double plays for FGCU.
The 0-1. Off-speed pitch, 0-2. 2 of the 3 outs that McGarry has recorded has been by strikeouts. The other one was that scintillating defensive play by Garcia at third to take extra base hits away from Will Wagner to end the 8th inning. 0-2 pitch to Jalen Guy. And he reaches out, finds a spot, and it reaches left field for a base hit. Bases are loaded with 1 out. Sometimes it's not how hard you hit them, but where.
That was an absolutely, excuse me, low and away swing.
Well, that was a great pitch, and he was just trying to make contact. The old protect the plate. And the go-ahead run is at the plate in the form of Gray Betts. But more importantly, the tying run's at first. And Jalen Guy has got great speed. The Flames are a double away from tying this game. 1 out, bases loaded. Gray Betts takes a pitch on the corner for a strike. Betts is 1 for 3 with 2 walks and an RBI. He's 3 for 11 in the series with 3 walks and 3 RBIs. The 300 hitter. The go-ahead run. The 0-1, and he slices it to left field, and that's trouble. It hits the chalk. They rule it foul. Oh, I thought it hit the chalk. They say it was foul. No argument, though, from Liberty.
Yeah, it hit the warning track, and it definitely, some dirt popped up, and that's possibly what you saw, but man, was that close.
It is light-colored warning track here at FGCU. And clearly, I thought it hit the chalk, but it was inches foul. That would have tied the game.
Yes.
Liberty inches away from tying this one up. But now Gray Betts finds himself in an 0-2 hole. Hunter McGarry came in the 8th inning. The 0-2. Fastball misses, 1-2. Betts is a really hard guy to strike out. We have talked about this. This, his 5th plate appearance of the day. This is 176th plate appearance of the season. He struck out 14 times. The 1-2. And he stays alive. I made the comment on Thursday. He reminds me in stature, choking up. He reminds me a lot of Brett Gardner. Just one of those pesky hitters.
Staying alive. Clement at first and Garcia at third are hugging the lines. No double defense there, but it also means there's big holes for the rest of the infield.
10-7, 1 out, bases loaded. The 1-2 pitch to Betts. And he lines one to center field, and that's going to fall for a base hit. 1 run will score. Jonathan Embry will come to the plate, and it's 10-8 FGCU.
Another ball that is not hit very hard, just placed in the right spot.
Jalen Guy stayed alive, almost threw his bat at it. It found a hole for an RBI single. And here's Betts with the RBI single. I said Guy with an RBI single. Actually, it just loaded the bases. 4 singles in the inning off McGarry. Only 1 out. And now the big bats for the Flames. Jonathan Embry leads the team with 9 homers. He had an RBI single his last time up. First pitch, off speed, catches the corner, strike 1. Embry 1 for 3, 2 walks and an RBI. He's 4 for 11 with 4 walks in the series. Leads the team with 9 homers. A single will tie this game. Fastball grounded, foul, 0-2.
McGarry's been ahead of all of the hitters this inning.
But he can't get the 3-strike pitch, if you will, down. He did the Guy. That was just a great piece of hitting. But Rohr, Betts, those pitches have all been above the knees. The 0-2 in the dirt. Good job by Brait. Rohr at third. Guy at second. Betts at first. Good speed on the bases for Liberty. Jonathan Embry against Hunter McGarry. The 1-2. Fastball misses, 2-2. A nearly 300 hitter with 9 homers and 36 RBIs against the Eagles' best closer, Hunter McGarry. The 2-2, grounded up the middle. Gonzales flips the profit for one. Relay to first, not in time. So a run scores. It's 10-9. There's 2 outs in the ninth.
That was a heck of a play by Gonzalez to keep the ball in the infield. Then just to get the out at second base to get Betts. And they were only a half a step away from turning that double play.
It's 10-9 FGCU. 2 outs, runners on the corners. And up steps Cam Locklear. And Greg, sports is a beautiful thing because Cam Locklear is 0 for 5 today and 0 for 11 in the series. And yet he has the chance to be the hero. Remember, it was 10-3 at the beginning of the 8th. It's now 10-9.
So it's a strange thing to think about that this is a home game for FGCU. Even if they tie the game, even if they take the lead, FGCU still has an at-bat. It's just the momentum in these last 2 innings.
Well, the other thing to consider here from a strategy standpoint, the force play is still in play with runners on the corners. But Jonathan Embry's got good speed, and he's 6 for 6 stealing bases. And obviously, if he steals the base, the go-ahead runs in scoring position.
Yeah, and I don't even see FGCU trying to
curveball low, 1-0.
Get the runner at second if Embry does steal.
And Corey Clement is not holding Embry on, so Embry can get a good lead and a running start, and he can steal this base easily if he wants to risk it.
Yeah, I think he's got to hold him on here, considering that's the go-ahead run.
The 1-0. And McGarry steps off. Remember, Locklear 0 for 5 today with 2 strikeouts. McGarry struck him out last inning. The 1-0. Runner going. Pitch is low, 2-0. And Embry, the go-ahead run, is now at second. Cam Locklear. Who'd have thunk we'd have this a half an hour ago? A junior from Lumberton, North Carolina. If he can get his first hit of the series, it'll give the Flames the lead. The 2-0. Off-speed pitch, check swing, low, 3-0. And the number 1 RBI man for the Flames waits on deck in Logan Matthew. Well, Greg Anderson, you said when the Eagles jumped out to a 10-1 lead that FGCU overcame an 8-run deficit against Lipscomb. Fastball at the knees. It was close, 3-1. And you said, hey, this one's not over yet.
I didn't really mean it, though, David.
10-3 going to the 8th is now 10-9 with 2 out and 2 on in the 9th. The 3-1 pitch to Cam Locklear. Fastball grounded up the third base line, and it bounces foul. If that had stayed fair, the tying run scores. But the second bounce hit the grass and kicked left. And now the Eagles are a pitch away.
You and I did a game here that there was an eerily similar play, and I can't remember exactly the situation, but I think it was the pitcher that came off the mound and fielded it
Correct.
Before it went foul.
And Richie Garcia, the third baseman there for the Eagles, thought about fielding it and then said, nope, I don't have a play. I'm going to let it go, and it went foul.
Here we go.
3-2 pitch, second and third, 2 outs. Call strike 3, a curveball on the inside part of the plate. Liberty comes as close as you can to tying it, but the Eagles hold on to win their 5th regular season ASUN championship. 2 in the 9th gets the Flames to within 10-9, but FGCU is celebrating, for they're the top seed in the ASUN tournament next week.
That 3-2 pitch was the best pitch he has thrown today. Perfect slider inside portion, completely froze Locklear. Wow, what a ball game.
What a dramatic final inning and a half. Liberty, what more can you say about them? Down 10-3. They score 6 runs. They get out of a bases loaded, nobody out situation in the bottom of the 8th. FGCU wins the series 10-9, and these will be the top 2 seeds in next week's ASUN tournament.
And David, before we sign off here, 2 huge defensive plays. Garcia at third, Gonzales at second. Garcia's ended the threat earlier in the game, but Gonzalez able to keep the ball in the infield in that last inning and get that second out, the force out at second, was absolutely huge.
10 runs, 13 hits, an error for the Eagles. 9 runs, 14 hits, no errors for the Flames. Liberty will look back at leaving the bases loaded in the 3rd, 4th, and 6th innings and only scoring 1 unearned run in those 3 frames, I should say. 10-9, Eagles win it. They win the ASUN regular season title. It'll be FGCU against Stetson, Liberty against North Florida on Wednesday in DeLand. Hope you enjoyed this broadcast, no matter who you were rooting for. Have yourselves a great rest of the weekend. Thanks so much for watching. FGCU beats Liberty 10-9 to win the ASUN regular season title.